The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
It is fun, sun, and savings time at Standard Heating and Air with incredible savings on AC units, heat pumps, and combo deals this month to ensure your air quality is up to snuff this summer. Go to standardheating.com for more info or to schedule your appointment today.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93
I hate Mondays.
How bad?
To follow Monday home, blockade the door, and burn the house down with Monday still inside.
Okay, I guess that's pretty bad.
You were born trash, and you'll be lucky if you grow up to be garbage.
Like a garbage man with no nose.
This is the best job in the world. Rotting meat? What does that smell like? Oh, look, receipts. I'll steal this person's identity. From now on, I'm Robert Dibadoo. So long, stinkies. Not that I would know.
My friend was embarrassed to tell me about a guy she was dating. And I'm like, what? She's like, you're going to make fun of him. I was like, wow. I was like, what does he do? And she's like, well, he's a garbage man. I'm like, that's a union job. That's a great job. Plus, he's up early. He's a go-getter.
Is that the best time to get our garbage? 5 a.m.? What time should we get your garbage? 5 a.m. Give me the loudest truck you have to. I want to think there's a robot from outside my window.
Gross. You look like a garbage bag full of chicken wings.
Let's start the show.
Oh, well, cripes. Good morning and welcome on into the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show, the Monday edition. Hope everybody just had a hell of a weekend. This is the week, Josh, where I wish we weren't a morning radio show. Well, I guess there are plenty of weeks where I wish we weren't a morning radio show. A lot of weeks I wish we were an afternoon radio show.
That'd be the best, wouldn't it?
But this is the week where I wish we were a lawn and landscaping company.
Oh.
93X, half-ass morning lawn and landscaping company, because it's going to storm on and off all week, and we could just sit around and play with ourselves. I wish this was the week we were doing lawns and landscaping.
You know, I've been doing a little bit of that, and it's miserable. I'm far too old to be doing some of that stuff around the house.
Definitely.
But
so I could use a week like this.
If it was raining and storming, you'd just stay on the couch.
Well, when I used to landscape, it was only if it was lightning would we not be out there.
There's going to be plenty of that.
But like, let's say somebody had some flash photography, we'd consider that lightning just to be safe, and we'd be out of there.
Wait a minute, you've been doing some landscaping?
I have.
I thought you had hired some landscapers. Please don't tell me again that you're assisting the workers who you are paying to do a job at your home.
No, you talked
You
me
have
out of
problems with that.
Yeah, some of the more difficult stuff, certainly where you need an expert, they've been doing. But we've been doing some on our own. Yesterday, we went to a landscape supply store, walking around. My God, it was hot. Guys, I was outside in front of strangers in a T-shirt.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, weirdo.
I'm sorry, explain this again. Why were you outside in front of strangers in a T-shirt?
Walking around a landscape supply store.
Oh.
Oh, it was way too hot to step a single foot outside yesterday, Josh.
We even went early, thinking maybe
gosh.
we'll beat the heat, as they say.
Did you guys know Josh has that problem? He'll pay a crew to perform some duties at his house, but yet he can't help but, like say some fellas and some ladies are going to tile a floor for him. He can't help it. He gets on the floor with them and assists them, despite the fact that he's going to pay them when the job is done.
Only if I'm invited to. Like there were some guys doing some grout, and they're like, "Hey, you want to give this a shout?" I didn't mean for that or shot. I made it rhyme by accident.
Sure.
And I thought, well, yeah, I'm going to give that a shot. And I did one little area, and the professional did like 6 little areas before I got done with mine. Or not, I shouldn't say 6 little areas, 6 areas before I got done with mine. So I realized I'm not very good with grout, where I'm very slow.
Oh. That would have been cool if he just pulls out a chair and just watches you go to work. All right, get to it.
I got a couple of fellas coming to the house today to do some work, and I have absolutely no plans to even make eye contact with either of them. I'm going straight to bed.
What if they're like, "Hey, you wanna try this? You wanna give this a shot?"
No, absolutely not. No.
I like giving it a shot.
You're not very good at it, but you like to give it a shot.
Oh, no, absolutely not. And it's nice because you got the experts right there that can save your ass if you're not doing it right and give you a lot of crap.
It's one of the more interesting personality traits that the man has. I have a question about this past weekend. I hope one or two of you know what I'm talking about, because I swear to God this was a current event over the weekend, a current story. Did those folks ever get rescued from that upside-down amusement park ride?
They did, but they unfortunately all drowned in quicksand on the way out.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Bummer.
I saw a photograph and just skimmed over a story of some poor bastards who were at the neighborhood fun park, and they had been turned upside down as part of some amusement park ride, and then the thing locked up. And last I heard, they'd been hanging upside down for a half hour.
Ugh.
Do you remember how long they hung there?
I'll be honest, I skimmed the story at best, but yeah, it was. They're definitely out of there.
You think you could handle that? A half hour?
No.
I could when I was a younger man.
If I got a free funnel cake after it was all over, maybe.
And especially because of the heights issue, I'd definitely pass out.
Well, you wouldn't even be on the ride to begin with, Wapple. You're so afraid of heights.
You'd pass out from fear.
Yeah, someone would have to knock me out, put me on the ride, strap me in.
Then you come to and you're hanging upside down on a ride. How did I get here?
All right, I'm going to admit something embarrassing. It's just reminded me, as far as being hung upside down like that. Yesterday, I cleaned out all the lint in our dryer vent, and I had to kind of duck down a little bit to put the little grate back on.
Sure.
And when I stood up, it went dark for a second, and I got woozy, and I had to lean up against the front door because I thought I was going to pass out.
I got up too fast. I hate when that happens.
So there's no way I could hang upside down for a half hour.
Yeah, see, this was a deal. They were quite a ways up in the air. I'm no good at estimating height. I couldn't give you a number in feet or anything, but these folks were quite a ways up in the air. Part of the ride was to turn them upside down and eventually bring them right back. How do you say it? Bring them right side up. That never happened, so they're hanging upside down for a half hour. I mean, as long as I stayed locked, as long as I knew, okay, we're locked in. The problem isn't that our harnesses are giving way. We're just stuck upside down. As long as my harness, or whatever you call it, stayed firm, I think I could keep my mental health together. But hanging upside down, I don't know. Maybe I'd start bleeding out my ears. I don't know if I could physically keep it together, but mentally, I think I could hang in there.
I would barf. I'd probably pass out. I might toot a little. One might just kind of sneak out.
Dude, an upside down barf.
Yeah.
That's not going to be pretty.
No.
Nope.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it says they were upside down for 25 minutes. A couple of the riders were saying that one of them said that their bladder hurt. Their complete bladder hurt.
Their complete bladder.
Yeah, everywhere around their bladder hurt. They had to go to the bathroom.
Front and back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And then someone also said they were trying to hold up vomit the whole time.
Can you imagine?
And their legs hurt.
If you thought, this ride's a minute long, and we were waiting in line for so long, I can hold my pee. It'll be over in just a couple of minutes. Or even worse, if there's a number 2 waiting there.
Yeah.
An upside down urination. Also,
you might get in your face.
Yes, not going to be pretty.
You might start a fetish amongst you and fellow riders.
I think the number 2 would be worse.
Of
yeah.
That goes without saying.
Wapple, name a situation where a number 2 isn't worse.
I mean, the only time it's better is if maybe there's a prize for whoever can number 2 first.
Beard Jesus has texted in and says the being locked in might trigger his claustrophobia. Okay, I don't think I have any real levels of claustrophobia in my system. But I see what you mean. So do you think you could mentally hang in there, Josh, or would you eventually start screaming for your mother or something like that?
I could definitely hang in there mentally.
Okay.
I mean, thered certainly be some panic as far as oh my God, I'm going to pass out in front of a bunch of teenagers. Please don't. I've had that situation where we were on, because I used to be able to go on absolutely anything. It didn't matter. But now that I've gotten older, I just can't do it.
None
Even
of us
sometimes thinking about it will mess me up. It's ridiculous.
You get anxious just thinking about it.
Not anxious, but just like I feel the lightheadedness or whatever you want to call it, like the little bit of nausea. And so I was on this, one of the, it was a ride at the Mall of America. It was a spinny one. Like maybe it was Ninja Turtle theme. I can't remember. And it was me and my family and then a bunch of teenagers. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to barf in front of all these teens. And I worried about my reputation as if I was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
I thought, oh no, they're going to make fun of some old guy that was barfing on the ride.
They're going to go home and tell all their friends about me.
We got a fella named Trucker Butt texting in saying, what ride are you guys talking about? I don't know. It was on the internet over the weekend. It was some upside-down ride. It got locked into place, and the folks hung upside down for a half hour.
Yeah, it's the one that looks like a swing, and then it'll also go in circles, and then the chairs spin around in circles
heck
too.
No, not one of those.
So would you even, if just you were stuck at the top and then the thing that spins around for 25 minutes, could you do that up in the air?
Okay, so now we're stuck upside down and we're spinning for 25 minutes. That's a totally different situation.
Vomit.
I mean, I really do think that could kill some people.
I would think so too.
Mitigation manager Jesus texted in about this story, and this is funny. And maybe you don't think of something like this, but it's true. They had to finish the ride before they got off. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. He's so pissed off.
So, let's say hanging upside down was just the beginning of the ride. You still got to go through the rest of the routine. And you've had enough of that situation after hanging upside. That's funny.
Maybe you're just so happy you're moving, you don't even consider that.
Yeah. Probably. You see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not going to bother you.
I don't know if anybody's been to this park in Oregon, but if you have, it was the Atmosphere. F-E-A-R was the particular ride.
Oh. F-E-A-R at the end of Atmosphere.
I would like to know what the park did for them afterwards. Do you get a season pass at this point?
I wouldn't want one.
No, I would not go back.
Wouldn't go back after that?
Hey, you guys can ride this. You don't even have to wait in line. You can go one more time. Everybody jump right back in your seat.
We're at that time of year now, summer. Folks are going off to the fun park. It always brings me back to this situation one of my best buddies found himself in. It was him and his wife and his young son. And his son was just old enough to get on the big rides. The ones like we're talking about where you go 300 miles an hour upside down, spinning you around. The kid was just tall enough, just in the beginning of his amusement park days, career, whatever you want to call it. So he and his wife said, yeah, the kid wants to go on this hellacious ride. And he and his wife said, yeah, go ahead. And people are being locked into their cars. And the little boy, my buddy's son, was in his own car. And, of course, he and his wife, they're not paying full attention. The kid's going to go spin around on a ride. We'll look around. We'll not walk away and look around, but we'll, just kind of gaze around to what else is going on at the fun park.
Yeah.
They did not notice, but luckily they did at the very last second. As the ride begins to slowly get going, my buddy was the one who glanced over to where his son was, and his son is frantically waving his hands over his head. Not screaming. I think he didn't. I don't know, when you're 8, 10 years old, maybe you don't want to call attention to yourself, But he's not screaming, but he's frantically waving his hands over his head. And my buddy waves, hey, all right, have fun. And then he realizes that wasn't a hi dad wave. That's a, oh my God, help me wave. And my buddy realizes his son is not locked in at all. The ride giver guy forgot to strap his son in at all. Luckily, he gets the attention of the ride giver guy to hit the stop button. And I mean, really honestly, had my buddy not glanced over at his son, he likely would have been thrown into the next county and killed. And it was just this crazy moment. Now, at that point, my buddy's wife is hysterical that this happened. And she's, screaming out she's going to sue the place for every dime they have.
Oh, my gosh.
My buddy says, take it easy. You know what happens. Accidents happen. They locked the kid in, and he went off and enjoyed the ride. But there was a little dispute there with my buddy and his wife for the next 10 minutes or so as to whether they were going to bring this company to its knees or not for their little mistake. And
I had that happen once, and they had to shut the ride down.
What happened?
Same thing, where the K or whatever, the bar that comes over your head wouldn't lock.
You were a young kid?
No, I was an adult. This is, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago. And at first I thought, well, no, I got it wrong. I'm sure it is. But then I pull it all the way up and down, and I'm like, going to my buddy, hey, try yours. And his was locked. I'm like, uh-oh. I go back up. And this kid comes over. He's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, the kid that works there.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem like it's locking. I don't know if I screwed it up somehow. And he's like, oh, boy, no, you got to get out of that thing. So they shut the ride down for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes to figure that out.
Dang. So how close did you get to, taking off? And
I'm not sure. I mean, we were maybe the third car, so you know how they walk from the front to the back. So
I see. Yeah,
I'm not sure how far back they got.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like there's a dude up front with his thumbs up, ready to
hit ignition.
He's doing his spiel.
My wife on Friday, she was at Valley Fair. Took a couple of the younger guys to Valley Fair, and I call her just to check in, and she's like, hey, I'm on Wild Thing. I'm like, why would you answer your phone in the middle of a roller coaster? She's like, can I call you back? I'm like, you could have just let it go to voicemail. I would have been completely fine. You could have called me back later.
Yeah, they're cranking it up right now to the big hill.
She just can't get enough of you.
I guess not.
She had to make sure you were all right. Here's a listener saying the folks who were caught upside down for a half hour, locked in place, what was it, Oregon, you said?
Yep.
A listener says they were given a $50 refund.
I'd want a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I feel like that's not even the price of the ticket.
Yeah, it seems like nowadays the ticket would have been more.
Yeah.
Imagine being, you're in line for this roller coaster, this ride or whatever it was for a long time, and then you get right up to the front and they cut you off like, oh, nope, all right, you're next. And then you look up and you see him get stuck. You're like, whew, dodged a bullet there.
There was a time at the Dakota County Fair, this guy was being cool, and it was light. It was like a scrambler type ride, and it was just me and my family on there, and he just gave us extra time, right? And at first I'm like, well, what a cool dude. But he gave us so much extra time, I was enraged by the end of it. Like, okay, we did it.
Wrap it up.
I'm going to die at this point.
The fun was over after a while.
It was pure jubilee. I'm like, look at this. We're getting our money's worth. Kids, what a nice guy. Make sure we thank this gentleman on the way out.
45 minutes later.
Yeah. And the 10-year-olds are carrying me off the ride. I don't have the energy to say, sir, that was far too long.
Yeah, that'll kick your ass.
I appreciated his generosity, and I still have positive feelings towards him, but my goodness, that went on forever.
That'll kick your ass once you're a grown person. All right, what else is going on around here? I wanted to recognize a text message. I wanted to recognize a Leather Scrotum Jesus. He's a regular listener of this program. He texts in quite often. In the last 3 days, he has wished us good morning from 3 different parts of the world. This morning, he's wishing us good morning from Dublin, Ireland. Yesterday, from Italy. And the day before that, Croatia. Boy, is this guy on a friggin' trip.
That's so cool.
Oh, yeah, keep going back.
Oh, I don't see it.
Oh, yeah, he's been text for like over a week.
Oh, I missed
Have you
those.
seen some of the photos he sent in?
Not a one.
Oh, man.
Where
Beautiful.
else has he been? Bosnia?
Did you say Croatia?
I did.
I don't know. Is it Trogier?
Yeah, I don't know these places.
I'm not sure. Some of these different places.
What a vacation. All right, yeah, thanks for texting in. I mean, okay, Josh's wife, she answers the phone on the damn Wild Thing. Here's a guy who takes the time to text us even though he's traveling all around the world. We appreciate that.
He sent us a picture of a lovely-looking pizza when he was in Venice. Yeah, he's been traveling all over the place.
It's good to be leather scrotum Jesus, for sure.
I'll be damned. HVAC delivery Jesus, back to amusement park rides. Didn't you almost kill one of your girlfriends with the door of the scrambler? No, it was not the door of the scrambler. It was the iron bar that you pull up to your waist when you're on the tilt-a-whirl. I lifted the bar up at the same time she bent down to, how does a grown person say this? She bent forward to solidify her purse, to steady her purse between her feet. Are you following this? At the same time she leaned forward, I pulled up that 3,000-pound iron bar that you rest at your waist when you ride the tilt-a-whirl, and I about killed her. I mean, the ringing of the noggin, the look on her face told me that I about knocked her out for good. Yes, that was one fun moment from my past. What are we doing here today? Garbage Man Day of something like that?
Yeah.
Garbage Man Day.
Yeah, Global Garbage Man Day.
Global.
All over.
So, Hot Nuts, what was his name again that's traveling all over the world? Leather Scrotum
Jesus.
Croatia, Italy, Bosnia, all of these places are celebrating Garbage Man Day today. That's terrific.
I sure do appreciate our garbage man. Boy, they get there early, I'll tell you what.
Tough gig.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Super early.
Oh.
We're picked up by 7 a.m.
Oh.
Yeah, and then a lot of the cities have like ordinances on when you can start. So garbage men will get to their work, they'll get in their truck, and then they'll kind of drive to where they're supposed to start. They'll just sit there until the time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so then it'll
fascinating.
Be like, all right, 6 a.m., let's get going.
The folks that pick up my garbage cans, they're more like a 10 a.m. type of a scene. Today is the last day. Are you on this yet, Josh? Have you tried this yourself? Today is the last day to enter for your chance to turn it up on stage with Limp Bizkit.
No, as a matter of fact, I hung out with my brother-in-law a little bit over the weekend, and I was telling him about this. I'm like, hey, you want to jump on stage with Limp Bizkit? I mean, maybe this starts a rap career, but I was thinking about the uncomfortable moment where you and another potential winner are backstage, standing there with no music, rapping in front of Fred Durst to try and get on stage with him.
This is one of the
what an incredible opportunity for some. This could be a dream come true for someone, right? But I was thinking about how awkward I would feel. Like, all right, here we go. All right, Mr. Durst, and I'm sure you. What was the name of the song?
I got it right here.
Turn it up, bitch. That's right. You got to rap. Turn it up, bitch.
This is something. This is one of the more interesting contests I think we've ever had around here. Today's the last day to enter for your chance to turn it up on stage with Limp by Damn Bizkit. What you've got to do, submit a video of you rapping the new Limp Bizkit song. Josh just said the title. It's called Turn It Up, Bitch. You send that to 93x.com skis. Someone here in the building is going to pick the best, put it up to a vote. The top two, like Josh was just explaining, will meet and perform for Fred Durst before the show, which they're playing Tuesday, July 16th over there at Somerset Amphitheater. No kidding.
I wonder how he'll be. Like, is he going to be super excited? Is he like, somebody on The Voice or something like that, really just into that? Or is he going to be like, all right, let's get this over with?
I guess you never know. Then Fred will pick a winner amongst those two final finalists, and the winner will join him on stage that night. You can find the contest rules at 93x.com if you're a contest rules person. I would imagine he'll pay attention because he'll likely want to bring someone up on stage who's got some true skills, right?
Yeah, they want somebody who's got some chops for sure.
Well,
you would think
then again,
so.
You got it. Maybe he's playing by American Idol rules, where they want to throw up, the embarrassing guy, so we can all collectively make fun of him.
Makes him look better.
Oh, that's another good point.
You just don't know. You don't know what you're going to get, and I guess that's part of the fun of this contest. So this is it. This is your last day. Submit your rap video. Cross your damn fingers that you get picked. And if you do, there you're going to be backstage rapping for Fred.
I hope this starts a career for someone.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be really cool.
I'm sure "Turn It Up, Bitch" is a terrific song, but I mean, can't I do my? I would like to perform for Fred or anybody else that'll listen. I'd like to perform my song about chapstick. I don't know if but I guess you got to sing, you got to rap his song.
Can you imagine, though, if somebody they go off script and go, no, Fred, I'd like you to hear a couple of my originals. That would kill them ever doing this contest again, probably.
Traffic, looking for my chapstick, feeling kind of car sick. There's a Ford Maverick.
I think of that movie every time I see a Ford Maverick, by the way.
How could you not?
I can't not think of Jamie Kennedy.
How could you not? And at one point or another this morning, we'll get somebody else on our booze cruise. So what are we looking at now? What's the date? What we got?
Today's the 17th. It's a week from this Friday.
I'll be listening to text in for your shot to win tickets to our half-ass morning show Independence Day booze cruise.
Always a good time. Wish I could go. Wish I could be there.
I'm going to miss you.
You guys have a lot of fun.
I wish you were going to be there too.
I'm being told I will be there. Okay.
You will be there.
I'll see you guys next Friday. That's great.
My condolences, Josh. I know you didn't really want to have to be there.
Well, it's not that I don't want to be there. It's I don't want to be anywhere, But there I am, right? Wherever I am, there I am.
You're going to talk yourself hoarse again.
I was a little worried about that.
How's your voice now after you caught the bubonic plague a couple of weeks ago? Is it back to 100? You sound like yourself.
Oh, I feel much better. Yeah, thank you. And I've actually had some doctors say that I'm more sexier than ever. They've evaluated me, and that's their medical diagnosis.
And doctors can't lie.
Are you suggesting doctors lie? Because that's been a whole theme in the last 4 years or so. I don't want to get into that kind of thing.
I'm no doctor, but I agree. I think you've gotten better looking.
Better looking, even.
Well, that's what they're sexier, better looking. Kind of one and the same, isn't it?
I just thought they meant like my vibe.
I think you've become even better looking after catching whatever it is you caught.
And it seems like it's helped your confidence, too. You're in a T-shirt in public recently.
Well, that's heat-related.
Still, though.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't confident. You know how, maybe a lady at the end of a water slide, she'll have a wardrobe malfunction, and she just crosses her arms over her chest?
Yes.
That's what I was doing yesterday in that T-shirt. I felt nude, even with the T-shirt on.
Well, here's the deal. One more thought here on Global Garbage Day, or Global Garbage Man / Woman Day. Pabst Swilling Forklift Jesus said the garbage folks are going to have their hands full today. The wind blew our work dumpsters out to the middle of our warehouse parking lot.
Ah, bruh. Have you ever seen ours go?
No.
Yeah. In the back?
No.
Yeah, every once in a while, that'll get cooking.
Yep.
You've watched our dumpsters get blown away by a thunderstorm?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple times.
Yeah, the weather's been something to see lately, and it's supposed to continue all week long.
Yeah.
Hell of a deal. An absolute hell of a deal. So we're off and running for this work week. Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will be wandering in a little bit later on. Oh, is Dr. P. Jesus going to swing by?
He'll be here.
That's absolutely outstanding. We got friends popping by. We'll take a break. Before you know it, we'll be back with more on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Are you ready to beat the heat this summer? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is here to help you say goodbye to sweltering heat and hello to ultimate comfort. Ashley, what specials do they have going on this month?
It is fun, sun, and savings time at Standard Heating and Air with incredible savings on AC units, heat pumps, and combo deals this month to ensure your air quality is up to snuff this summer. Go to standardheating.com for more info or to schedule your appointment today.
This episode brought to you by Progressive. Whether you're driving, cooking, or doing laundry, Progressive knows the podcasts you listen to go best when they're bundled with another activity. Much like how their Progressive home and auto policies go best when they're bundled. Having these two policies together makes taking care of your insurance easier and could help you save too. Customers who save by switching their home and car insurance to Progressive save over $775 on average. That's a whole lot of savings and protection for your favorite podcast listening activities, like going on a road trip, cooking dinner, and even hitting the home gym. Yep, your home and your car are even easier to protect when you bundle your insurance together. Find your perfect combo. Get a home and car insurance quote at Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $779 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
What did somebody say earlier? It is Global Garbage Man Day. And we got a shout out via the text messages. Happy Garbage Man Day to my brother, Melvin the Mop Boy, Jesus. And that is from, Josh, that's from Turkey Butt McGee. Turkey Butt McGee. Melvin the Mop Boy out there doing his thing as a garbage man. Good for you. All right, let's find our way through the stupid news here. As some of you know, I have one of those cats living in the house. His name is Dave, and he's a pimp. He really is one of my best bros. One of my best bros. Everybody already knows, cat and cat owners are superior to dogs and dog owners. Here's a cat story for the coolest members of our listening audience, the cat owners, bruh. Here's a story for you folks. A dude in Atlanta, Georgia, called 911 because he says his neighbor lady isn't cleaning her cat's litter box to his liking.
You're saying a cat in the house?
This is a rooming house, ma'am. This is not her house. And she got a cat here that she do not let go out. He stays in the house every day. She had one cat that was here. He would go and come on his own. Something happened to him. He died. I would have the decency to bury the cat for her that day. And when I get back home the next day, she already got another cat here.
There he is. That's the 911 call. The Atlanta police shared that audio on silly social media. In the recording, the man can be heard explaining how his neighbor is not properly cleaning her cat's litter box, leaving a stench throughout the house.
The cat got the house smelling bad, ma'am. And I'm saying to her, too, about it. She's trying to burn incense in here, and it's not getting better. It's getting worse, the smell. And it make me sick of the stomach. I pay rent. I live here, ma'am.
All right. As you heard there, he says the lady's trying to cover up the cat turd smell with incense. But using his direct words, the smell's not getting better. The smell's getting worser.
Yeah, sometimes if you try and cover up a smell with something else, it does get worser. Yeah, I have noticed that.
I'm a little confused, though, because the dude says it's his neighbor at first, but then he says that he lives in the same house with the lady. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I'm a little confused on that.
It's like they called it a rooming house in the story. So I think just a few people rent out a portion of the house.
Okay.
All right.
So maybe when he says neighbor, he means the next door down the hall.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he means.
Okay. Then there you go.
Like, I don't know if it's a group home, but that was kind of how I interpreted it.
That's what I pictured.
So he's talking about, the cat turd smelling up the house. I like how he adds that the woman's previous cat was allowed to go outside. The current cat is not allowed to go outside. The previous cat upped and died. He said he buried that cat for the lady next door. I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. But then she had a new cat the very next day. She's not changing that cat pan.
She is not changing that cat pan and stuff in here like she should, and this house is stank, ma'am. And I done told the landlord I cannot stand that smell. You are not going to come out here and do nothing about that?
Okay, sir. The lady's already on the phone with another operator. Once the police get out there, you can go ahead and give them your side of the story also. All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
This is not an emergency, dude. You're calling 911 over a dirty cat litter box. But morons just keep calling that number for no good reason. As you heard, the 911 operator tells the dude the police are on their way. So I'm not sure what happened once the cops got involved in this deal, but the local police had to post another reminder for the stupid people. They posted on Facebook, "We kindly remind everyone that 911 is reserved for emergencies of a serious nature. Non-urgent matters are best resolved through friendly discussions, not emergency lines."
Yeah, it's too bad. I mean, the cops seem to have to issue this type of reminder a few times a year on what's appropriate to call 911 over and what's not. Cat stink, not there. Although that can be rough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
That ammonia smell.
Gross.
That can be powerful.
If it gets in the carpet, too.
Oh, that makes it even worser.
Yeah.
Just lingers.
Yep. It's tough to get out.
I am, because of my OCD, I'm always changing the cat's litter, or at least cleaning it out, right? And we keep them on a tile floor down in the basement. I don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, that's where our cat's stuff is as well.
But I'll tell you, there was one gal that I used to hang out with when we were in our 20s. This was up at St. Cloud State. Cute gal. A lot of folks were chasing her down. Until they found out this piece of information. This kind of grossed some of us out. I could cut through it, don't get me wrong, but this grossed some of us out. I found out, because she lived in a house full of other girls. It's a college setup. And I guess she had no other choice. I don't know. She kept her cat's litter box in her clothing closet.
Oh, I've seen that before. Yeah.
Gross. What are you thinking?
Yeah, it was a small apartment, but I have a friend who she did the same thing. Like a reach-in closet there, and right over to the side, there was the litter box.
Yeah. Once I was given that information, of course, every time I hung out with her, I was kind of trying to see, trying to get a whiff of her to see if I smelled cat turds or cat pee or cat litter. I never did, so she must have been doing something to make
I never did either.
Yeah, but everyone thought, oh, that's really gross. Kept her cat's litter box right there on the floor below all of her clothing.
Oh.
School is out. Everywheres. Am I correct about that? School's out.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you what. Even good old senior skip day has to go sideways in the year 2024. In a place called Long Island, New York, the neighborhood high school kids went mental on senior skip day. The kids were running loose through town. It got out of hand to the point where there were kids twerking up on the lid of a cop car, and one kid got shot.
Oh, Jesus.
Huh?
Went from twerking to getting shot.
Have you guys, I think the movie was World War Z. Remember when I don't remember if they're zombies or what they were, where they were all climbing that wall?
Yes.
And there's just like thousands of them. That's what one of the cop cars looked like with all these kids. I don't know how they fit that many kids on it.
I remember that World War Z. The movie went by. It seemed to me the movie was maybe, I don't know, an hour and 2 minutes long. It was over. And it also kind of sucked.
You know what? I liked it, but if it was rated R, it would have been 10 times better.
Oh, yeah. It's always better.
I think the PG-13 kind of killed it.
You're right. The way these kids were swarming anything that crossed their path, you're right, Josh. It kind of reminded me of a zombie movie. Chaos was the word to describe the scene. More than 2,000 high school seniors cut class and headed to the beach. By 6 o'clock that night, it was a damn near full-blown riot. There were fistfights. Of course, every stupid kid is recording everything on their cellular telephone, so if you want to watch video, it's out there. One of the video clips showed hundreds of young people all trying to climb up onto a lifeguard tower at the same time. And that was one of those scenes like Josh was describing where it looks like a zombie movie. Every damn one of them thought, let's all get on this one lifeguard. It was like when the 80 Olympic hockey team all forced themselves onto the podium.
I'm surprised that thing never broke.
Yeah.
With how many kids are on that. That's insane.
I fully expected that to happen, too.
Yeah.
So the whole
roof
scene,
caved in.
the whole scene kind of makes you wonder what happened to underage drinking at house parties.
Well, I guess they're doing it in public now. And my God, some of the outfits, grossly inappropriate.
Were there inappropriate outfits?
I felt so.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
I'm jealous. We weren't allowed to have a senior skip day.
Yeah, we weren't either.
I don't think anybody was allowed to.
Well, yeah, they just threatened us with, you won't walk a graduation.
Yep,
Yeah, they did that
was
too. And then we thought, well, somebody has to walk at graduation. So if we all aren't here, they can't tell us all we're not going to graduate.
That's good logic right there.
Yeah.
I don't remember much about that. Senior skip day. Here we go. Good old-fashioned Waffle House stories.
Oh, those are always good.
Not always.
Yeah, it depends how you look at it.
I've done some things I'm not proud of at the Waffle House.
I've never been to a Waffle House. Where'd you go?
Orlando.
Yep, me too.
For me, it was in Mississippi.
What'd you do that you weren't proud of?
We met some strangers and we drank. They made us mixed drinks of Benadryl, NyQuil, and Monster Energy drink.
And you chose to accept that and
Yeah.
put it in your body?
Mm-hmm.
And you knew what was in it?
Yes.
That sounds like a night.
Were you already
Wow.
on Benadryl and everything else you said? or-
No, just all the alcohol that Orlando had to consume was consumed by me and my friends.
That's like robo tripping, but then you add the monster to it. I don't know what the monster's doing.
It's keeping you up.
Yeah, that sounds so scary.
5 in the morning. The sun was coming up.
That's about the most derelict thing I've ever heard from you.
Yeah.
Well, you trying to kill yourself or something?
It was WrestleMania weekend. Things happen.
My God, I can't imagine saying yes to something like that.
Yeah, I don't even think I would.
I get it, Dana.
Oh, Ashley, you get it.
I get it.
You couldn't just handle like regular alcohol? By handle, I mean accept that as enough?
They weren't selling any more alcohol because it was 5 in the morning. So we went that route.
Let's get some Benadryl.
Benadryl, NyQuil, and Monster Energy drink.
I remember the first time I was presented with that idea, and I didn't understand. This was a good buddy of mine moved to California when we were, I don't know, 8th graders or something like that. And then he came back to see us the following year, and he brought one of his California bros with him. So we're like 15, maybe 16. And it was one of those nights where we were having a tough time getting our hands on hooch or beer. So we were kind of, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to try to go buy some from a liquor store? Who's got the balls to walk in the liquor store? Or maybe go to one of our parents' houses and raid their liquor cabinet? We were trying to work out how we were going to gain our buzz that evening. And my buddy's bro from California said, I don't know, you guys got any cough syrup? And I did not understand. I remember thinking to myself, hey, dude, we're trying to focus on getting wasted here. We don't need to hear about your cough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was a 15-year-old kid.
We're not sick.
But he explained that that's how he, at times, would get intoxicated. I was absolutely thrown. I did not understand. Dana,
yes, I am severely brain damaged, but I've never had a cough.
Right.
Never once.
How old were you when you're drinking these things at 5 o'clock in the morning?
I was in college, so 22, I think.
That's shocking.
Jeez.
So you've said you've done some things at a Waffle House you were not proud of.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody texted in, Andrew, and said, I've done some things at Wapple's house I'm not proud of. What happens at a Waffle House?
Probably marijuana's, staying up too late.
Marijuana.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm ever up at 5 a.m. and that's my drink of choice, Dana, just tell me to go to bed.
Yeah, I mean, that'll just kill you dead.
That reminds me of a text when our not new, but he's been here several years, but when our current boss first started here, he said, I just want you to know if you ever hear from me before your show, I either had a great night or a horrible night. So
Anytime
5 a.m., if you're still up at 5, go to bed. No Robitussin or whatever you said.
Before Walmart, and yes, I'm going to say it to make a point, before Florida, there was the Waffle House. That's where all the hell was raised. It's kind of taken a back seat to those other places in the last 5-10 years. Here's a Waffle House story that won't be enjoyable at all. Police in South Carolina are looking for a Waffle House customer who showed up to a joint earlier this month. He was drunk. This was in Myrtle Beach. How do you say it? Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Shows up at a Waffle House. He's drunk. He's belligerent. He pulls out a cigar and he starts smoking it. Rules don't apply to this guy. He's apparently special. A female server confronts him. She snatched the cigar out his hand, and then she walked behind the counter. The drunken, belligerent customer came uncorked by this. He hopped over the counter, He followed her to the back of the restaurant. He pulled out a knife. He punched her. After she fell to the floor, he kicked her upside the head and neck. Thankfully, he didn't cut her with the knife. Someone who was with this guy tried to break it up. That person got cut, so blood was sprayed all over the damn place. Doesn't that sound nice?
Yeah, that's quite the night.
Yeah.
Still better than drinking Robitussin at 5 in the morning with Dana at WrestleMania.
Then the cigar bitch and his pal left. There's no word on the server's condition. It doesn't sound like the police have arrested anyone yet. All I can really take away from this, Josh, is I'd like to be there when the cigar bitch gets his ass handed to him for this.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
I found out on Saturday that my 12-year-old thought cigars got you high. We went to a candy store, and he got a candy cigar, and he's like, oh, yeah, I'm high, and I had to ask him, what do you mean? He's like, well, from smoking a cigar. Like, do you think cigars get you high? And that's what he thought.
Oh, to be young.
He's so stupid. It's like he drinks Robitussin at 5 in the morning with Dana.
With strangers you met an hour earlier.
You could have told them, son, that's a blunt you're thinking of.
Oh, I did. I explained. I'm like, are you thinking of a blunt? Why, yes, I am.
Blizzant. Here's one for all you grown folks who refuse to ever admit that anything is your fault. You're a fascinating crowd. I'll give you that.
It's impressive sometimes, and sometimes I do get jealous.
Yeah.
I think overall I wouldn't want to be this type of person, but there are times I'm actually impressed.
This one's for you grown folks who refuse to ever admit that anything is your fault. We do love to hear you blame others up and down for your own problems. We do. It is entertaining. A middle-aged rich guy in England is suing Apple, the computer people, after his wife, oh my God, I have a sneeze on deck that is probably going to cause me to lose multiple teeth. So forgive me. It is, you get that feeling?
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. A middle-aged rich guy in England is suing Apple after his wife found a bunch of text messages that he sent to hookers.
Oh, whores. Your wife hates whores.
She does. She talks about them all the time. This couple is divorced now, don't you know? The guy says, the husband, he turned to prostitutes in the last few years of their marriage. He would text them using the iPhone texting app called iMessage. Did any of you play around with that?
I think yes. A few of us, including you, do.
Oh, okay. Okay. There was a lot of terms in there I didn't know. He would text prostitutes using the iPhone texting app, something called iMessage. He was careful to always delete the messages so his wife didn't see them, he says. Unfortunately for him, he only deleted them from his phone. She eventually found them on the iMac desktop computer that they shared.
Oh.
She filed for one of those divorces less than a month later and took him for all he's worth. Took him to the friggin' cleaners. So now he's suing to recover that money. He thinks Apple should have to cover what he's lost in the divorce, as well as his legal bills, which is around $6.3 million.
Whoa.
He thinks that Apple should cover that for not, I guess, the verbiage isn't explained clearly, but I guess he thinks they're to blame for not covering his...
Slut protection.
Yes. Not covering his infidelities with their technology. They could have done a better job with that. He claims he and his wife were, quote, very happily married.
Oh, obviously, yeah. Yeah.
Keyword happily.
Not to, make my eyes focus on someone else's bobber here, but I'm going to suggest maybe there were some deficiencies in your marriage if you're seeking out the prostitution.
He calls their marriage here, Josh, he calls it superb.
Sounds like it was for him for a while.
Yeah, he had a good setup going.
He says if she had found out he was cheating in some other way, they might have been able to work it out. but seeing the text was just too brutal of a way to find out. So she couldn't forgive him.
I wish they gave us examples of what these texts had said.
Yeah.
I wonder how foul they got.
So, his lawyers are even looking into making this a class action lawsuit if other men come forward and say the same thing happened to them. Good luck, fellas. And let me tell you, you're all doing just great. Adulthood really looks good on you boys. It does.
Well, I can tell you that I was aware that could happen.
Yes. That's what I was going to say, too. They're basically suing because they don't know how to use the program.
We don't know how our phones work.
Yeah. Wait, there's a cloud system?
And from what I remember, I had to set that up where it would sync with things. You can choose to have that on or not.
You have to set it up.
Okay. Maybe she did, I guess, now that I think about it. Maybe she set that up and he wasn't aware.
I know none of these things. So once I delete a message, it's not actually deleted?
Well, two things. So this is a little different because you can have with Apple products, and I don't have Android, so maybe you can do the same thing, but with Apple products, you can have it all synced together, right? You got an iPad, an iPhone, and a computer, let's say.
Jesus Christ.
So you can answer texts on all of them, right?
Yep.
If
Same
you
thing
set
with
it up,
Androids.
you can do the same thing? Okay.
How in the hell do you guys know this stuff?
Oh, it's been around for a while. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know the Android thing. See, I'm learning that.
So are you saying that I have an afternoon of work ahead of me?
You might.
No.
Yeah, you could.
There's also, a lot of people don't know, but if you go into your messages on your iPhone and you go into the top left of the screen and hit edit, you can see recently deleted text.
Well.
Yeah, that's relatively new.
Yeah.
So I could see somebody not knowing that.
Christ.
I use that all the time because I'm very particular, and to the point where my wife, I'm surprised she's never asked if I'm cheating on her because I delete texts every day.
Oh, that's right. That's so fascinating.
I'm an
about you.
inbox zero guy. I go through, I can't have stuff sitting in my email or anything like that.
Really?
And so there are times where I'm like, look, just this morning, Nick asked me, wait, Randy Shaver's going to be on the phone. He's like, why is he on the phone? I'm like, I forgot. So I just went through and checked my deleted texts.
My phone would stress you out so much.
Oh,
Josh.
I know. Well, I mentioned our boss earlier. He'll do that sometimes where he'll send me his unread message count.
Oh, yes.
I was behind a lady last week at Chipotle, and she was ordering off her phone, and she got a text. And, I wasn't, trying to stare, but I noticed I saw her unread text count. It was insane.
I have 416.
Unread texts?
Yeah.
How do you know who to get back to?
A lot of them are scam, or scams that text me. But I guess I don't know. The most important ones are usually on the top.
How do you know you got a new message without it vibrating? Because usually it has the icon. Hey, you got a message over here.
It pops up on my home screen.
400. My wife's like that, where she'll have, I think one of her email accounts has over 1,000 unread emails.
Yeah, it gets to a point where it gets to be too many, and then I just don't want to go through them.
So as soon as you read a text, like even from me, the best friend you've ever had, you read it, we talk back and forth, and then you delete all of those messages
before bed. Usually,
before bedtime. Yeah. Why do you need that?
I don't know.
It's like a comfort thing.
I guess
or
I just
maybe you have some OCD.
Oh, dude, I think we could have an OCD off, and I bet I'd win. I mean, I have to.
Okay.
I don't know why.
I don't think of that kind of thing. I guess, we have different styles of obsessive compulsive
Just
disorder.
this morning, me and Josh were purging a bunch of stuff from our work computers.
Yeah, good point. I forgot about that. Yeah, we were going through and organizing a whole bunch of stuff that really didn't need to be done, but it just feels good to get that over
Totally.
with.
Crocs with Socks Jesus has texted me to say, man, you got to learn how to use your devices. There's no excuse for not knowing when Apple or Android tells you how to use it. What do you mean there's no excuse? Well, I'm in trouble with you somehow? What are you talking about? I don't need to learn squat. I know how to make a phone call and send a text message. What's the problem?
Trucker Butt just sent me a picture of his unread email count. 172,036. Now people are doing this.
Emails?
Yeah. 56,000 emails not read over here, this text says.
I'm at 21,000.
I don't even know how to look these things up, but
Oil Pumping Jesus, 96,000 unread emails.
I'm just terrified with emails that somehow I'm going to need an email that I got a year ago. And I'm going to be angry at myself that I deleted it.
That's
Well,
why
just
they
mark
have
it
the
as
little,
red.
Yeah, or the little important folder.
I don't know.
Kind of transfer it to there.
I just searched the deleted. But I've boned myself several times. Thank goodness they have the where you can check the deleted items. You know, that, like I was saying, it's relatively new. That has helped me out.
Jeez Louise.
So,
interesting stories.
But you didn't mean not to, Jesus said. There are fewer things more satisfying than deleting emails, texts, and contacts I don't get a hold of anymore. I'm the same way. I go through contacts, and that's also got me, like maybe Christmas I'll get a text. Hey, thinking about you, jabroni. Somebody texted me over Christmas thinking about, saying some nice things. Like, make sure you tell Nick I said hello, that kind of thing. And I have no idea who it is.
Oh, that's awkward.
I have practiced that once or twice, where you go through all the names in your phone and you get rid of the ones. You guys have probably heard me sitting here after we get off the air. I'll say, who's Jerry? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And then all right, well, this is a whole new world to me. This is very interesting. Some of yous are adamant about deleting. The rest of yous don't pay attention at all.
Android just came out last week with a new update. Me and someone were talking about it over the weekend, and if we were in the same group thread, so there's like 7 different people in there, and there's a couple numbers I don't know, but Android just put out an update that if there's another Android user, they'll put their name next to the unknown number. So you already know who they are.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Every once in a while, like if you get a text, if you had an email from them, they'll say it's maybe this person.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Rich and Wretches Jesus says, just unsubscribe. I love that. I definitely do. I usually, there's very rarely do I subscribe to anything, but yeah, I've done that for my wife. Unsubscribe. Just go through. That is also satisfying.
Wow. All right.
Nick's mind's just blown over
Yeah,
there.
He needs a minute to process
he has
this.
no idea what's going on.
I don't know what a lot of yous are talking about, but I like the spirit behind it. I do.
Dildo Queen Jesus said, once I get over 1,000 unread emails, I make a new account.
I think I got time for one more here in our stupid news report. Oh, well, this is a pretty entertaining one, too. In Australia, where, it looks like they're going to have to wait at least one more year before seeing one of their NHL teams claim a Stanley Cup.
The Great White North.
It looks that way at this point. I think they play again tomorrow night. In Australia, says here, a crocodile was terrorizing a town called Bula. And the locals say that this one crocodile was chasing kids around the neighborhood and eating random dogs and cats. I don't want to see any kids get their limbs pulled off for them by a crocodile, but it would be kind of fun to see a couple of near misses. You know what I mean? On America's Funniest Home Videos or something like that.
Sure.
A couple of kids just boo-doo-doo-doo along a river bank or something, and one of these bastards comes racing up after them. That would be fun to watch. It's chasing kids around the neighborhood. It's eating up random dogs and cats. The locals have taken their revenge. The cops shot the big bastard dead, and then folks cooked it up and they ate it.
Oh, a little Fido inside and everything.
I could see Wapple doing that with his enemies. Shooting them and eating them. You've got a temper in you.
Lots of salt.
It was a big bitch, nearly 12 foot long, this crocodile. They barbecued it. The cops said the croc was stalking and lunging out of the water at children and adults. And like I said, it had also reportedly swallowed multiple community dogs. But they got him. The story says that interactions between crocodiles and humans can be fatal.
I'll bet.
Really?
In April, a 16-year-old was killed by a crocodile while attempting to swim to shore after his boat broke down. God help us, that's terrible.
That's a bad day.
Last year, the remains of a 64-year-old fisherman were recovered from inside a crocodile's guts.
Oh.
Come on.
Oh, give me the chills.
Nobody should have to go out like that. They find you in the guts of a crocodile? Nobody should go out like that.
Nope.
I agree. How miserable. Well, Ashley, would you be cool with that? Because you did say if you had to pick a death that wasn't natural causes, you'd like to be murdered by an animal.
Yeah.
She talks a lot of trash.
No, Alec, no, because they do that like death roll, and drowning freaks me out. That's one of my biggest fears.
It has to be a land critter that kills you.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
She's very picky.
Tears your limbs out, tears a fat vein out of your neck, you bleed out, you choke on your blood. This is something that you want to happen to you.
Well, if I had to choose how to die.
And sometimes don't they play with their prey?
Yes, they do.
Just kind of bat you around, cut you up a little bit here and there. Maybe
Yeah, they
just
want-
nibble a toe or two off.
Teasing me.
Yeah, they want you to move a little bit because they like when they have some fight.
You fight back?
Mm-hmm.
You guys are
And they
effed up.
carry you back just to feed to the cubs. So you're swarmed and they're eating you slowly.
Sometimes they bang you a little bit.
Oh, are you serious?
That's what I have heard.
They've got a safari defibrillator and then they just shock you back to life and they continue to eat you. That's what you want, Ashley? Shame on you.
Sometimes they bang you a little bit just for laughs. So there you go.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
To have a Game 5 in Boston on Monday night. A spectacular, dominant performance from Luka Doncic and the Mavericks.
That was embarrassing by the Celtics. They actually thought the Mavs were going to quit. They came out nonchalant, lackadaisical, but that was so unprofessional the way they played that game tonight.
I hear you, Charles Barkley. 2 championship series that most of us thought would end over the weekend are still going. NBA Final Game 5 will be played in Massachusetts tonight, 7:30 on Channel 5. The Boston Celtics hold a 3-1 lead in the series over the Dallas Mavericks. The Stanley Cup Final kicks in again tomorrow night. You know what Josh said to me while we were playing those commercials? Josh turned to me and he said, "Hey, stupid ass."
It's not at all how that started.
He said, "Why don't you dump some Booze Cruise tickets on the sheeple?"
I didn't say any of that except for the Booze Cruise tickets.
And I said, well, that's a capital idea because I don't think we've given away Booze Cruise tickets during this portion of our morning program just yet. Text on our Luther Bloomington Kia text line. Text DRINK to 651-989-9393 for a shot to win tickets to the Half-Assed Morning Show Independence Day Booze Cruise. It's coming up now, by God, Friday, June 28th. We're going to hitch a ride with the wonderful folks at Stillwater Riverboats. Again, the word is DRINK in the stinking number, 651-989-9393. Good luck. Great idea, Josh. It might just work.
Let's hope so. And you know what? If you're going to drink, please do it responsibly.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Please.
Yeah, you did. So, yeah, we got the NBA Finals will get going again tonight. The Twins swept their doubleheader with Oakland yesterday, and they swept the entire series. Hell, they unleashed 7 dongs on the Athletics in the 2 ball games yesterday. Carlos Correa hit 2 of them. That dude is just insane right now with the hitting of the baseball and the swinging of the bat and the fielding and the throwing, running. And a dramatic ending, actually, to last night's game. That was kind of cool. I don't know about the rest of you, but so often on Sundays, the Twins game is over around 3:30 or something, and I ain't got jack squat to do the rest of the night. To have the doubleheader and a game start at 6:40, that was perfect for a jock sniffer like me. Jose Miranda went upper tank in the 8th inning to break up a tie game and give the Twins a win. They got a day off. Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will be stumbling in here around 7:30. We can continue on. But for now, stick around because you got Josh and his news coming up next.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show
Are you ready to beat the heat this summer? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is here to help you say goodbye to sweltering heat and hello to ultimate comfort. Ashley, what specials do they have going on this month?
It is fun, sun, and savings time at Standard Heating and Air with incredible savings on AC units, heat pumps, and combo deals this month to ensure your air quality is up to snuff this summer. Go to standardheating.com for more info or to schedule your appointment today.
America starts the day with America in the Morning.
Pending home sales numbers, they tanked in April, but there
Hi,
are
I'm John Trout, your host for the latest news, politics, entertainment, business, and weather.
High-octane action in the dust, a new film puts...
Our staff of correspondents provide a fast-paced look at the world with specialized reports from where news happens.
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Amazon.
Concise, accurate, and fresh each day.
America in the Morning, the podcast, available wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
Somebody told me he told the landlord and people in the house if he died, she killed him. She the one did it.
A Florida woman's behind bars after shooting her roommate because he was too messy. An inflamed 71-year-old Patricia Whitehead popped shortly after 9 a.m. Thursday morning, shooting the roommate multiple times after becoming upset he didn't clean up after himself. Police said the man was leaving the home when Whitehead heard the door slam. She retrieved a gun from her bedroom and shot him. She was taken into custody and booked into jail, but no other details were released.
That's it. He's dead.
He's dead, yeah.
Oh, no.
She shot him multiple times. I'd imagine that also was messy, but she did wait till he got outside before she decided to do that. She lost it. Video shows a furious female passenger strutting naked through an airport in protest of being fined for overstaying her visa.
Now we're talking.
The 34-year-old was set to return to Vietnam from her vacation in the Philippines Saturday a week ago, when officials demanded she cough up cash on the spot for a fine for overstaying. The irked passenger protested by stopping off to the bathroom only to reemerge completely nude. She walked calmly through security and up to the body scanner, right past security, stationed at the immigration counter. Flabbergasted staffers were seen quickly following behind, but appeared unsure how to stop the stripped-down traveler. The guards were finally able to stop her and tried to settle her down by giving her clothing, food, and something to drink. A police spokesperson confirmed the naked passenger was stopped because her visa had issues. She went straight to the public toilet at departures. She walked out of there without any clothes on. We don't know why she did that, he said. She was eventually able to leave the country after settling her fine.
She got
weird protest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That naked angry.
Yeah. I've never been naked angry. Have you guys ever been naked angry?
No. But she got clothing, food, and something to drink. I mean, what else do you want in life?
Yes, they hooked her up.
I haven't hit that mark yet, Josh. Naked angry.
Dana always says if a woman is upset, you just tell them to calm down. And they're being irrational.
You're being irrational. Just calm down.
Those are the two pieces of advice he gave me before.
Works every time.
Always works.
A dude I used to work with was dating a girl who would get naked angry. And one of her finest moments was they had a massive argument at the neighborhood bar, he and his girlfriend. And she got so pissed off, she left the bar and left him sitting there by himself. And he thought, well, that was ugly, but thank God it's over. Minutes later, he hears people hooting and hollering out in the parking lot. And to show him what a prick he is, his girlfriend had gotten completely naked and was dancing for random gentlemen in the parking lot of the bar.
That's awesome.
Pardon me, I should have added something, and she was in the bed of his pickup truck. So she got up into the bed of his pickup truck.
Nice little stage.
Got completely naked and was dancing for hillbillies in the bar parking lot.
Yeah,
I thought that was that's a marquee moment in a relationship.
Definitely.
And you said that's her thing. So he wasn't necessarily shocked that she would get nude.
I think at that point, yes, she had been naked angry before. I think this is the first time she decided to make a few bucks off of her naked anger and embarrass him in that fashion. But yeah, he was sort of accustomed to it at that point.
If you're going to be naked and angry, you might as well make some money off of it.
An NYPD inspector let his girlfriend take a drunken joyride in his police car during a wild night out. and then tried to cover up the mess when she crashed into a taxi. Oh, I bet that caused an argument. 44-year-old Deputy Inspector Paul Zangrilli tipped back 5 shots and 7 beers, oh my gosh, before leaving a bar with his then gal pal, 35-year-old Nicole Ruppel. She was behind the wheel of his NYPD-issued vehicle. His date, who had sunk 7 shots and 3 beers, slammed the car into the back of the cab, injuring the driver before speeding away. Instead of turning his girlfriend in, Zangrilli allegedly switched seats with the woman and kept on driving. When the cabbie caught up to them, he offered the driver $1,000 in an effort to dodge exchanging insurance information. He then lied to cover up the incident, calling a captain to the scene and telling the officer he'd been driving alone and was on his way to work when the crash happened. He even asked the owner of a bar to delete surveillance footage in an attempt to erase the couple's boozy bender.
What a mess.
What an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least save it for when you're off the clock and you're not driving your police car.
Mm-hmm.
Then in Carver County Tuesday night, an alleged drunk driver was arrested 5 times over the legal limit.
Get her.
The driver was found to have a blood alcohol concentration of 0.440.
Whoa.
That is data drunk.
That's got to be close to a record.
Get her done.
A 25-year-old Nashville woman named Angel Hilton assaulted her girlfriend after the girlfriend called Hilton's mom and told on her for driving drunk. Also in Nashville, a 19-year-old aunt struck and bit her 14-year-old niece because she was disrespectful towards her. Family members had to hold the aunt back until police arrived.
You're chewing on a kid.
Yeah.
Don't bite children.
Kid was disrespectful, Ashley. Does that change your opinion?
Nah.
An Ohio officer lost his job after engaging in sexual acts multiple times while on duty at a grocery store. Police Chief Elaine Bryant said that Officer Robert Spann was caught on camera humping multiple times.
There was a complaint lodged with the Inspector General regarding his behavior at special duty at a Kroger. He was caught on camera doing some sexual acts, and it was an excessive amount of times. At least 9 times that was caught on camera.
Bryant made the decision to fire him for violating the division's rules of conduct with consensual sexual activity with a store employee.
The recommendation was made that there be discipline regarding what he did. It was brought to our attention, it came here, and ultimately we made the decision that he should be fired. I made the recommendation to Director Pashotti, and she upheld that recommendation as well.
The chief said she and the Inspector General's office deliberated on whether there should be a criminal investigation against Spann, but the Kroger store chose not to prosecute.
He was humping on other folks there at the grocery?
Yeah, while on duty.
Gross.
In uniform and everything.
Yeah.
On camera. You think a guy working security might know where the cameras are.
Yeah.
Or maybe that was his thing. I don't know.
Yeah, you wanted some footage of it to watch back later.
Maybe he never thought he'd get caught. Police in Minnesota are no longer allowed to ask, "Do you know why I pulled you over?"
They were incriminating themselves without realizing it.
It's not unanimous, but many in law enforcement are on board with the change to satisfy criminal justice advocates, and a lot of agencies already made the changes even before the new law.
We don't want people making spontaneous confessions, and we don't want law enforcement officers to ask people questions except in a formal interrogation setting where they are Mirandized.
The Minnesota Chiefs of Police Association helped negotiate it to a compromise, but there is opposition who argue it should still be allowed.
I guess I don't really give 2 pumps one way or the other. What about you?
I guess if I was committing multiple crimes, maybe I'd want to have this law go, but I don't think right now there's any penalties. If they are asking that question, it's kind of an honor system.
All right.
A little bit.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I should have thought to get this clip from Liar Liar.
Oh, yes.
Where Jim Carrey's pulled over. Do you know why I pulled you over? And he runs through a litany of all the things he did, incriminating himself.
And speeding!
Why did I think to pull that clip? And unfortunately, I can't play stuff unless we get it done the night before.
Nobody bats 1,000, Cubby.
I just thought of it right now.
Nobody bats 1,000.
The FBI was, the thought was there. I'd like credit. Honorable mention.
Absolutely. I know the clip you're talking. I think here's the saving grace is most folks know that clip so well, they've played it out in their mind, and they're giving you credit for it.
Yep. The FBI was looking for a man accused of robbing a Texas bank while holding an assault toddler. The robbery transpired at the First Convenience Bank inside a Walmart in Fort Worth, Texas last Thursday. The suspect approached the bank teller and passed them a note demanding cash while he had a child in his arms.
No.
Just stunned me to think that poor little baby to be connected with something like but she's too young to really know what's going on.
Authorities described the robber as a thin white male between the ages of 35 and 45, about 5'7". Last seen wearing a baseball hat, black sunglasses, a multicolored fishing shirt, khaki-colored cargo shorts, and Hey Dude shoes.
Oh, so he sounds like a typical dad.
Going to a Jimmy Buffett concert.
The only reason I read that description is so I could say Hey Dude shoes.
Yeah. I got like 3 pairs.
I saw you wearing those the other day. Nick's got some Hey Dude shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Those are
so comfortable.
Those are popular.
I'm starting to cover my toes, which I never did for decades and decades and decades, but these shoes are pretty comfortable, sure. I'm digging them. And I dug the audio there of that. Thankfully, they got that comment from that witness as she was passing away.
Yeah. She was on her deathbed. She's
My God, what was going on with that lady?
Anybody can steal from a church, but not everyone can steal the church itself. And one particularly crafty Texas pastor has been sentenced to 35 years in prison after a jury convicted him of stealing 3 churches worth nearly $1 million.
Whoa.
56-year-old Whitney Foster was the pastor of a small congregation without a physical place to meet. Prosecutors said he filed fraudulent property deeds listing a fake pastor or other church officials of the congregations from which he was found guilty of stealing the entire property.
What he wanted people to think was that because he was a nonprofit, that he had the ability, the right to just move in on another nonprofit's property.
On the deed documents, he listed his church as the grantee in his own name. The value of the 3 properties totaled more than $800,000. In one case, in 2021, the pastor of a Lancaster, Texas church learned the congregation no longer owned their own church after it was deeded to Foster for $10. Quite the scam.
Yeah, that's something right there.
A person with an unusual or unfortunate last name can have a tougher time avoiding all levels of grief, which often accompanies it. And when your death calls even more attention to that name, it's just unfair. Such was the case with one of 2 men who tragically died in upstate New York after falling into a manure tanker. One of the men attempted to retrieve a piece of equipment which had fallen into the tanker and passed out. The second man also passed out and fell in as he tried to help the first man.
Was it the smell that caused them to pass out?
Yeah, they said the gases.
The gases, right. Oh, God.
Authorities identified the men who died in the manure tank as 29-year-old Tyler Memory and 33-year-old Nathan Duty.
Oh, no. That's a damn shame.
That is a shame.
That's just not fair.
Because you know that his whole life he had to hear the Duty jokes, and this is how he goes. Similar incidents have happened previously. A farmer and 13 cows died in Wisconsin in 2016 after they were overcome by methane. And an Iowa father and son died after being overcome by fumes in a hog manure pit. We've heard how dangerous that is.
Son of a bitch.
Too bad. This isn't going to help people like Dana's friend who has a fear of escalators. A woman in her 80s died after falling and having her neck caught in a recently opened supermarket escalator in Tokyo Wednesday. The woman was found with her neck trapped between the escalator handrail and the floor in a basement about 10:20 a.m. that morning. The parent company of the business said the escalator was installed before the store opening and there were no abnormalities found during the latest inspection late last month. Fatal accidents involving escalators were recorded at least 7 times from June of 2004 through March of 2024 in Japan. The Japan Elevator Association reported the number of accidents involving escalators was about 1,500 during the 2 years of between 2018 and 2019. That's 2 times higher than the number 15 years ago. According to the CDC, every year in the U.S., an average of 30 people die from elevator or escalator injuries. Another 17,000 are seriously injured.
I haven't had a problem yet with either elevators or escalators.
Yeah, me neither. Nothing, luckily. Game 5 of the NBA Finals tonight on ABC. The Celtics leading 3-1 going into tonight's game, hosting the Mavericks. Jimmy Fallon has Eddie Murphy. Tennis star Venus Williams, 44 today. Will Forte, 54. And one half of the fabulous Farrelly brothers, Bobby Farrelly, behind the comedies such as There's Something About Mary, Kingpin, Dumb and Dumber, Three Stooges, and more. 66, and that's 93X News.
KARE 11's Randy Shaver.
Strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that ass. on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
You guys have been great to me for 24 years, and I just want to say thank you to my entire NBA family. But I have made the decision myself, no matter what happens, next year is going to be my last year on television.
That's what Charles said the other night. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. I dig this. This is great music, Josh.
This is wild.
The other day we played the poor man's version of Wild Side by Motley Crue. Today we get the poor man's version of Detroit Rock City.
How did you pick this out?
It's so good.
It's so close. How can we afford this and not get fun? It's close enough.
Let's see what's happening with the boys. Randy Shaver, I was told, is calling in on the telephone from Biwabic, Minnesota. Is that you, Randy? Is that where you're at?
That's exactly where I am. And I may never come home.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful.
Why would you? Why would you? Hello, Randy. Brad Ryder, are you in town?
No, I'm still at my cabin, but I'm driving back today.
Everybody's on vacation.
Yeah, no kidding.
Randy, what are you doing up there in the Iron Range?
I am hanging out with my son and his wife and my 2 grandkids. We are up here for a few days. Came up here, I was in Wisconsin on Saturday, and then came up here Sunday to meet them and just hang out.
It's a family event.
Yeah.
The Iron Range, a lot of fights?
I haven't seen any yet, but we haven't really taken the kids to the bar yet. So.
Well, that's a great spot. You know, I used to spend quite a bit of time up that way when I was a high school kid and into my 20s and such. That's a beautiful, beautiful spot here in the great state of Minnesota. So just hanging out with the family, a little bit of this and that.
When you came up here, Nick, probably the ski hill wasn't here, was it? Was Biwabic's Giants Ridge?
Yes, it was.
Created that? Oh, it was there. Okay.
Yes, it was. We did visit that. None of us were big skiers, but every once in a while we'd go up there in the winter and we would hit Giants Ridge. Sure. I think you've probably heard the story. One of the greatest nights of my life was watching one of my friends' right knee, one of my buddy Dio, his right knee just completely disintegrated on that ski hill. And we had the time of our lives watching that happen. The time of our lives. We used to go to Virginia, Eveleth, Tower. We were all over the place up there, Randy Shaver.
Sure.
Well, that's just great. What do we got going on around here? We got plenty to cover. If you want to put any members of your family on the phone along the way, Josh, we would welcome an appearance by a member of the Shaver family.
Oh, yeah, the more Shavers, the better.
Are you the only one awake?
No, my grandson is awake. He can't talk yet, so you're saved there.
Okay.
My granddaughter was awake at 4 this morning. I heard her. She was hungry.
Oh, sure.
So Ryan was up with her at 4 this morning. So, yeah, if you want to catch the Shaver clan early, it's going to be those 4. It's not going to be me. So
okay.
I'm the only one that's moving around basically right now.
You're just a helpless old man.
I am in this case.
You can't help it. You're up with the sun, just wandering around, making noise, pissing everybody off in the cabin, right?
Yep.
Oh, God, you should have been there. So my buddy Dio is going down one of these killer ski hills at Giants Ridge, and what we loved about watching Dio ski is he was completely straight-legged, like he was standing and waiting for a bus, right? And again, none of us were good skiers, but most of us knew you at least need to get yourself in somewhat of a bent-kneed ready position for some. He looks like the letter I going down the hill with skis on, and arms at his side like he's standing and waiting for a bus, and he hit a mogul, and we literally heard his knee explode.
Oh my God.
And we were climbing above him on those chairlift set, and we all went, ha, 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 you dumb bastard. And sure as hell, he had blown his ACL, MCL, every CL. Oh. He left those CLs in the snow there at Giants Ridge.
My God.
It was absolutely awesome.
Your knees are going to bend one way or another. You might as well be the one to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we came down to the bottom of the hill, we couldn't find him. We found him in the clubhouse or whatever they call it at a ski hill, the chalet, right? Mm-hmm. And he's got a tall beer in his hands, and he's completely distraught. He's in a hell of a lot of pain, and he says, well, I suppose I'll finish this beer and we'll head off to the hospital. And we said, no, we're not going anywhere. We got like 3 more hours of this. You sit here and get drunk. So we left him there alone to get drunk while we went and skied the rest of the evening. He was furious. But that's how bros do each other, right, Josh?
Nothing like friends, right?
That's how we do each other. All right, we'll get going. Here we are in June, and some folks are just now getting around to their annual fantasy football last place punishments. Anyone been involved in anything like this year?
No, our league doesn't.
I don't
do
finish
that.
last, Nick.
Oh,
I'm sure you don't, junkie. But
Dana, you're kind of a finish first guy, aren't you? But that's completely different.
Completely unrelated, Josh, but yes.
Randy Shaver, I'm sure you never finish last. And you've told us before, you've never been, despite being in 36 fantasy football leagues a year, you've never been in one where they do these nasty punishments.
No, and it would drive me crazy if I was in one of those. I would be scared to death. So I purposely have never been in one that asks or that makes the loser have to do something stupid at the end of the year.
Okay. So. Brad Ryder, you ever been dialed into one of those?
I've been in a few, but I've not been in a league like that either. I would actually like to be in one. That would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, unless it happens to you, depending on how nasty.
Well, yeah, depending on what the punishment is.
Yeah, you'd hope that folks would be reasonable. Okay, it says here one fantasy football loser had to do, this is far from the worst we've heard, but it's still kind of fun. He had to do what they call here a 24-hour McDonald's challenge as his punishment.
I
read this too.
We've heard similar punishments. Didn't some dude have to sit at a Waffle House for 24 hours, but they shave off an hour every time he eats a waffle or whatever the hell it was. Okay.
Right.
This is a dude by the name of Joe. He says he's never eating at McDonald's again, which is his loss.
You know how that goes, though, right?
Mm-hmm, sure.
I'm never drinking again.
Yeah. Right. He had to spend 24 hours at a McDonald's with an option to shave time off by eating different items on the menu. I read this off of USA Today. They say it's a genius punishment because no matter how much the loser eats, they're going to spend more time in a fast food restaurant than anyone would ever want to. I'm not sure what they mean by that. I love spending time in a fast food restaurant.
Same.
We used to, as little kids, or not really little, but middle school and high school, we would go to McDonald's and hang out.
That was the hot spot?
Oh, in high school,
yeah,
for sure.
definitely.
Hey, Wapple, I hate to break this to you, but that's every teenage group in America from ever since they propped up the first McDonald's. Yes, that was everyone's hangout spot.
I thought the chart of the guy that they set up for the guy was a little bit unfair. It was you really had to eat a lot just to get like half the time knocked off.
Okay, well,
you could tell that the people who set up the chart put a lot of time into it.
Yeah, they did, and I actually read that chart all the way through. And I was like, God, that's a little unfair. I mean...
Well, let me explain this to folks. Let me explain this now, because folks don't know what we're talking about. There were different time designations for each menu item. So if you ate this, it knocked this much time off the 24 hours. If you ate that, it knocked this. So there's strategy, I guess, that goes into cutting that time down. The dude only ended up spending 8 of the 24 hours.
Oh, my gosh.
That's still a lot of time.
but still, I saw that chart, too. You had to eat a lot just to get down to even that.
Okay. I didn't read the chart designating all the time connected to all the menu items. I thought, when I read 8 hours, I thought that seemed light.
I don't think the people who put the chart together thought that he would eat that much.
Mm-hmm. He ate away 16 hours. So this is how he went about it. He had 2 big breakfasts with hotcakes. That shaved off 240 minutes. Ooh. I wish that this would have been put into hours.
That's 4 hours.
Okay.
4.
That shaved off 4 hours. 17 hash browns.
Oh,
man.
That shaved off 425 minutes. Can you do it again, Dana?
No, not on that one. I can't.
That's over, that's 7 hours.
7?
420 minutes?
Yeah, 425.
Yeah.
Well, then why did he
60
eat the
minutes in an
McChicken
hour.
sandwiches? I'm sorry. He ate away 16 hours. He only stayed for 8. Sorry, I got lost. He had 4 McChicken sandwiches. That got rid of 180 minutes.
3 hours.
3 hours. And 23 apple slices. I don't know what that means.
I think the apple slices were worth 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like they sell you
like separate
actual
little
apple
pieces.
slices?
Usually like Happy Meals, you can get a little bag of apples.
Yeah, instead of the fries.
Oh, I thought maybe that was the new word for their apple pie or something. So
I'm assuming the guy also had to pay for all this too. So not only is your punishment you have to sit there and try to eat it, but you also got to pay for it too.
Okay, I didn't consider that. And okay, sorry about my confusion. I did not know that McDonald's would hand you apple slices, like legitimate.
Well, they come in a package.
Okay.
Right?
That shaved off 115 minutes. So he sucked down 6,000 calories. Is that a lot of calories?
Yeah. That's like triple the daily recommended amount for a guy.
I actually thought it'd be
imagine
more.
The stomach ache. Oh, Lord.
That got him, all of what he did got him out of there in 8 hours. You thought that, what would be more?
I would have thought it would have been more calories with everything he ate on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
the apple slices probably saved him.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking at the menu right now. So, a Big Mac shaves off 45 minutes, a quarter pounder, another 45 minutes.
See what I'm saying, though? That just seems. I mean, again, maybe I'm not a very good judge of what time should equal each item, but I just thought that's way. You literally would be dead eating McDonald's to try to get yourself out of there in less than 5 hours.
Yeah.
My favorite thing though on the menu here is miscellaneous. You can shave off 5 minutes if you go in the ball pit.
I'm sorry, one more time?
You can shave off 5 minutes if you go in the ball pit in the playland area.
As a grown person.
As a grown man.
Yeah, that does matter. As a grown man, yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, that's right. You might get a couple of stares and rickets.
Did they have? Was he on the honor system, or did they have someone there that was monitoring?
That isn't.
What he was eating?
That wasn't mentioned. If there was someone policing his activities, I don't know. Maybe he was just.
The guy who finished next to last had to go monitor.
Sit there and watch him.
Hand a receipt.
Oh, my God. But that'd be even more brutal.
I mean, I love McDonald's, but too much of anything, I can see how that would be trying.
There was another guy recently who had to go to a restaurant with a sex doll. Did you guys see that story?
Oh, that sucks.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't think that was a big deal. I mean, so he had to just sit there.
Yeah, he had to have a meal with a sex doll, and a server got fired because she posted it on TikTok or social media or something like that. So
I don't know.
But that was a fantasy football punishment.
That's too bad that the server got fired, but I guess I don't care enough about what other people think about me. So what? I went and had dinner with a sex doll, so what? This guy had to sit in one, even if you're not eating anything, he had to sit in one place for 8 hours, 10 hours. That's way worse in my opinion.
Yeah, that would have made me go crazy, just the sitting there part.
One of our listeners is telling us via the text machine that their fantasy football last place punishment was, and this listener did end up in last place, had to put on a dress and be a beer bitch at a party. What they call here a beer bitch. That's a hell of a deal. Hell of a deal. All right. I mentioned earlier that 2 championship series that most of us thought would end over the weekend are still going. You can watch the 5th game of the NBA Final tonight, 7:30 on Channel 5, live from Massachusetts. The Celtics and the Mavericks. Boy, the Celtics just looked like a bunch of bums in Game 4. They acted as if Dallas was just going to hand it over.
I think it was the same situation as the Timberwolves. Dallas was just trying to make sure they weren't going to get swept.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They threw in the towel awful early, too, because they knew that, we can come back home to Boston and win this.
I don't think Boston had any real interest in winning that game. I think they gave it a good shot in the first quarter. They realized that this thing was going to take maximum effort, and they just said, "Okay, we'll give you this one, and there is something to be said about winning it at home in front of your own fans."
Yeah.
There's plenty of listeners here who are going along with the they wanted to win at home theory.
Oh, yeah,
that's what I think.
We got a ton of texts saying that.
That's the
They
number
think
one
that's
answer.
exactly what happened.
But I didn't watch the game, so I can't say.
I mean, all
their
they
level
cared
of
about
effort.
was getting one win in Dallas. That's
I think the way you described it is accurate. They thought, okay, we'll give this a shot for a quarter and a half, and if we're down, they were down 20 at half. They just, I think that they rested the starters almost the whole second half. They didn't even put forth an effort to make a run, and I don't even think it's as much of they said, well, we want to win it at home. It's just really hard to beat a really good team 4 times in a row. I mean, no matter what sport it is. So,
All right, so the Stanley Cup final, we can talk about that tomorrow. The Mavericks and the Oilers, who were both down 3-0 and then won their Game 4s, still have a long ways to go, obviously. That said, they set some records in their respective Game 4s. Dallas's 38-point win over the Celtics in Game 4, and Edmonton's 7-goal win over the Florida Panthers in their Game 4. By far the biggest victories by teams facing 3-0 deficits in an NBA or NHL title series. Just they thumped the opposition to a record level.
Can we get these things over with by July, though?
I know, Randy Shaver. Every year you get more and more aggravated.
Ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It is.
It really is. It's just, and I think about, imagine if our team was in either one of those. Here we would be third, almost to the end of June, and we're still out covering these games, and it's just ridiculous.
I'm fine with it going as long as possible because after that, all we have is, mid-June baseball.
Yeah, but it's summertime right now. This is the time where you don't want to have to worry about anything other than Twins baseball. To me, summer is Twins baseball.
I agree.
I'm in that camp as well.
Things shouldn't be interfering with Twins baseball.
I'm fine with mid-June baseball, some of my favorite baseball. So if that's all there was at this point, I'd be completely content with that.
Because by the time you get to July, I mean, now, once the calendar turns to July, then everybody's going to start talking about training camp, and I'm so tired. Really? Can we just enjoy the summer and baseball and
No, you're right.
These sports are
all these other.
You're preaching to the friggin' choir.
These sports are trying to stay relevant 12 months out of the year. That's what they're trying to do. Because then what happens about a week and a half, literally a week or a week and a half after the NBA finals are done, it's the draft.
Yeah.
And then right after that, free agency starts. Free agency is over the 4th of July. And then it's summer league. And then it's just a constant cycle of things going on. And then by Labor Day, they're back in training camp again.
I would like to sue the National Football League for harassment. I would. I would like to sue them for harassment. Because they never leave us the F alone about their overrated SAWFT soft product.
See, I disagree with that a little bit, Nick, in that their OTAs and their mini camps, all those things they should not be anywhere near the top of any sportscast or anything like that. They should, that's like the last thing that should be mentioned every week. It should be at the bottom of the page of the Star Trib. It's just, we're not ready for football. We're not in football mode.
No.
Stop telling me about mini camps and OTA. I don't care.
Right.
It's baseball right now.
Right.
So it's summer. It's finish the high school kids' spring seasons. Give me the NBA and the NHL. Let's finish the season. But stop talking to me about the frickin' football right now. It's not important. It is mini camp, for God's sake. Who cares?
I love it when you talk dirty. I do. I love it when you talk dirty.
Even when we get to training camp, Even when we get there, it is practice. We stop making it sound like it's life or death in August. It's not. It's July.
Normally,
you don't want to watch videos of J.J. McCarthy throwing?
No.
I don't care at all. Randy Shaver normally isn't this irritated, but you have to remember he's on vacation with his family.
No. It's not even that. I've come to this point where I'm like, we have you're right about the NFL. It has brainwashed us to the point where we feel like if we're not covering a frickin' practice, we're not doing our job. Bull crap. You know, it's unless something happens in that practice in July, guy breaks his leg or pulls a muscle, that's not newsworthy. It's just not.
I'm with you 110%. Right, it is baseball season. You want to show me a video of Christoph McCarthy, whatever the kid's name is that they drafted out of? You want to show me a video? He better be falling down a flight of stairs. Other than that, I don't care what he's doing.
I don't care what defense they're going to run. I don't care who's playing quarterback. I don't care who. I don't care. Stop talking about it. It is not football season. Honestly.
I'm ready to organize a boycott if you are.
It's like we can't find anything else to talk about. So we talk about the easiest stuff that's there. Why not go down to the Twins and find some good stories down there? I mean, it's baseball season. Go to the Saints, for God's sake.
Tell these some bitches what's up, Randy. Keep going.
The high school baseball championship games are today. Cover that.
Exactly.
Is that right?
That's what you should be covering today.
Never hear a peep about it. The high school baseball championships are today?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you wouldn't know. No one covers it.
Yeah, too bad. Should be.
Conrad McDavid of the Edmonton Oilers. What did he do? Oh, he had 3 goals and an assist in that 8-1 rout to the Florida Panthers in Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final. So his 3 assists gave him 32 assists in this year's playoff. He passed Wayne Gretzky for the most assists in a single postseason. The difference there being that back when Wayne was playing, his teams usually finished series out in 3 or 4 games.
Right.
But, good for Conrad.
I was with Lou Nanny on Saturday night, and he was like shocked at that score. I think a lot of NHL people thought this thing is over in 4 and we're moving on. Even though, I think he was more shocked at the score itself than the fact that Edmonton won. But still, that is a pretty shocking score.
Yeah.
When you're in the NHL Finals.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what to make of this text message, but from East Winstead Jesus, who says, "Retired Randy is on a roll. Get some, fat ass." I don't know what.
How do you spell fat?
Or maybe he means to say, "Get some fat ass." I don't know. Text messages are difficult to determine.
How you read it, right?
Yeah.
You got to interpret it.
I'm going to go with "get some fat ass." This is so silly. So you remember a few weeks ago, a female Edmonton Oilers fan went viral during the playoffs when she lifted up her shirt and flashed the crowd her cans while someone recorded her, right? She kept a low profile for weeks, but she finally decided to do an interview with a show called Spittin' Chicklets. It's so odd how this has become a thing. A gal pulled her jugs out at a hockey game, and everybody comes unglued wanting to know her name and if she'd do a porno movie. Jesus Christ, have you never been to a Motley Crue concert? You know what I mean?
It's weird how people got so obsessed with her.
Yes. So I guess she calls herself Kate. She told the folks at Spittin' Chicklets she was initially able to get the original video taken down, but then it spread like wildfire. She was asked if her boobs were real in the interview, and she admitted they were not.
The handful of cheesies I ate all day and the 8 Trulies I drank in the first period, it was definitely inspiring.
Are they real? I think that's one other question that a lot of people had. Is that a rude question to ask?
No, they are not real.
Boy, does she sound Canadian. So the gal, as you know...
She had a couple of Trulies during that interview, too.
Yeah, her vibe was weird.
If you didn't follow that, they asked her, I guess, what inspired her to haul them out. The handful of cheesies that I ate all day. And is that the Canadian version of Cheez-Its, maybe?
Probably.
That's what I thought.
And the 8 Trulies I drank in the first period was what inspired her.
It's a lot to put down in the first period.
She was asked, what inspired her. That was her answer. But as you know, she got lucrative, is what they call it here, offers to work for several websites. She turned them all down, and she wants to live a normal life. Now, speaking of life, I'd like to get back to trying to live mine now. It's just so odd. There are 2 zillion hours of porn online. One gal hauls them out at a hockey game, and time stands still until we find out who she is. It's so odd.
It weirds me out. It does. I don't like the interview with her either. She seems weird. And she's wearing like these huge, obnoxious sunglasses in the video.
Oh, she was on video?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, was she trying to disguise herself?
I don't know. And she keeps like pulling them down
Probably
a
too
little
late for
bit.
that.
It's just weird. I don't
So who shot the video? Was it a friend of hers or just somebody she didn't know?
It was a random person.
Yeah,
it was a random person.
Yeah,
So
because she said that she eventually like found it on Twitter. I guess like people were sending it to her or something, and she reported it. And it's funny because in the interview she's like, yeah, and so I reported the interview or the video, and it got taken down, and I thought that's the end of that. Like, come on, this is the internet. That's not the end of that. You got your boobs out. Yeah.
All right. There you go. We're probably done with her at this point. You heard in our intro there, this past Friday after Game 4 of the NBA Final, Charles Barkley said that next season would be his final year as a broadcaster.
I think it's the last year that TNT's group will be together.
Okay.
Well, yeah, next year is the last year that TNT has rights to NBA games.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah.
I mean,
he's not working for another network.
Him saying that kind of goes against what he originally was talking about. When he was talking about how they may lose the rights, and NBC may lose the right or may gain the rights, and that he was hoping that they would find a way for them to all stay together, or maybe he would work for somebody else. I mean, he was talking openly about working for someone else. So him saying this the other day is different than what he was saying originally about his future in TV.
I love Charles. I love that program.
Yeah.
Nothing lasts forever, I guess.
He did specify that it would be his last year on television. So it wouldn't surprise me if he had some sort of a podcast he's working on or something.
He already does, doesn't he?
Or does he already?
Yeah.
He's got other things going on. It's not like he's not going to be involved in something. I just think that he feels like, and I think a lot of us all feel like, that group is so special. And if that show with those 4 guys isn't going to be able to stay together, then trying to copy it somewhere else or, pull him in with a different group, it just doesn't. I mean, it is what it is. It could work, I suppose, but nothing like what they have right now. It's just a magic 4 guys that just are so good at what they do that it's hard to replicate that. Really hard.
Now, I know I'm the last swinging D to have come around to this. It's very common when it comes to movies and television, but for the first time ever, I watched this David Letterman interview show.
On Netflix?
The friggin' wife found it, so it must have been one of these funny channels that I don't know how to access.
It's on Netflix.
Okay. I saw David Letterman interview Charles, and it was a lot of fun. Look that up if you haven't seen it. Here's a text for Brad Ryder. Hey, Brad Ryder, you should know that the Springfield Tigers are playing in the state baseball championship today, the same school that ended your career back in 1986. Burn! Is that true? Did you look this up? Is Springfield playing today?
They might be, but that was the cause of that game ending the way that did. It was bad refereeing.
I don't doubt it. They're called umpires in baseball. I don't know if
No, they're talking about basketball. They beat us. Yeah, they beat us in the region finals to go to state. That guy texts in all the time to remind you of that.
Oh, right. Here it is. High school basketball. I didn't catch that. So they're talking about the end of your...
It was. If you think NBA refereeing was poor, you should have been at that game.
Oh, my God. Come on.
It was really bad, huh?
Yeah, it was awful.
At least you're over it.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Did you foul out in the contest?
I did not, but some other people did. Yeah.
Hey, dude, I'm with you.
You know what, Nick? It's kind of hard to foul out when you're on the bench.
Wow.
Sort of technical foul.
You can get technicals. Josh is right.
Bench.
Yeah, you can get 5 technicals on the bench.
Josh, yes, you got like 5 technicals sitting on the bench.
Brad, you weren't on the bench. You were a starter. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Big, tall farm kid like you.
Yeah. I've talked about that team before. We were all tall.
Yeah.
I was a guard at 6'2".
Dude, tough club you guys had there in Clara City back in the minute.
until we got screwed by the referees against Springfield.
I love it.
Oh, my God.
I'm with Brad Ryder.
Where was that game played, Brad? Was it played in Springfield?
It was played in Montevideo.
Oh, man, they're all crooked bastards in Montevideo.
It was a region. Yeah, it was a region. No, it was a region game, so it was at a neutral site. It was back when we only had 2 classes, not 8 like we do now, and it was the region final game to go to state. So.
Did the team all take the same carriage all the way to Montevideo?
Yep.
Just cloppy, cloppy, cloppy.
We had to have 2 horses. We had to have 2 horses draw the carriage because there were so many of us on it. So yeah.
It snowed. It was uphill all the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. All right. Now, speaking of television programming, I recently watched, and I know some of you are going to say, "Oh, for Pete's sake, they've made 52 documentaries on this." But I get drawn in. I recently watched what I think was a new documentary on O.J. Simpson, Nicole Brown Simpson. 30 years ago today, in 1994, was the O.J. Simpson car chase. 95 million Americans watched the police chase. And I remember where I was and who I was sitting with. I remember everything about that day.
Mm-hmm.
What a pile of garbage that man was. Just a pile of garbage. If you haven't had enough, I wish I could tell you. Maybe it was on A&E or some channel like that. Look it up. And I could be wrong, but I think it's new. What a friggin' scene that was. All right, the Twins swept their doubleheader with Oakland yesterday.
Can we just keep Oakland in town?
Well, you wanted the same thing when the White Sox were here. We
get to go to Oakland this coming weekend, so
right,
there you go.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, just keep playing Oakland. And it's not that Oakland is the worst team in the league, because I think there are, Colorado isn't much better, but they just are a good fit for the Twins hitters. Their pitching staff they certainly struggled when they were here against the Twins, so...
Well, the boys, in their doubleheader yesterday, they unleashed 7 dongs on the Athletics in the 2 games. Carlos Correa hit 2 of them.
He's just on fire, man.
He is. He had 5 hits.
This may be the best hitting stretch he's had in a Twins uniform.
Oh, yeah.
Easily. And he looks like he's 22 right now. I mean, he's just... Everything he's doing, whether it's in the field, because he is a great fielder. There's just no doubt. One of the best fielding shortstops. But, man, at the plate, there are times when, with the Twins, he's looked lost at the plate.
Yeah.
But, man, he is dialed in right now. And so is Lewis. I mean, they both are just feeding off of each other. And then everybody else in that lineup, it is a cliche, but hitting can be contagious. When everybody starts hitting and the ball starts looking like a beach ball and stuff just starts happening, it's a fun thing to watch. And this weekend, or this whole week really, has been a really good week for them to kind of get themselves back in the chase. They're only 5.5 back of Cleveland. And, things are moving in the right direction. I still think they've got to figure out that starting pitching. and figure out what that rotation really looks like. But if Lopez gets going, they're going to be fine. But, man, the hitting has just really come around.
Carlos Correa is hitting .431 in the month of June. Royce Lewis had a home run in each game yesterday. Did you see the catch that Austin Martin made up against a center field fence? Stayed on
I did not see that.
Okay, great
I'm sure
catch.
It was great.
Miranda went upper tank in the 8th inning last night to break up the tie and give.
I mean, you got to give the Twins credit. They've got some guys that being able to shuffle from St. Paul is such an advantage for this team, because not only is it they all stay in the same place, you're not like shipping the guys and they're flying back and forth from places. They actually can live in the same place to play either AAA or Major League Baseball, which is such an advantage. And they keep such close tabs on all these guys now that it's really like having your team, your B team, playing with your A team. They're just down the street.
Right.
It's such an advantage. Look around Major League Baseball. I don't know if any other team has that type of advantage right now between their Major League club and their AAA affiliate. It's worked out so amazingly well for the Twins. This year in particular, right now, but I mean, just overall, just a great setup.
A lot of folks love this gimmick. Snoop the dog called some of the Brewers-Reds games Saturday in Milwaukee.
I came in where the players come in at, because I'm a player. Get up in there. Oh, he's safe. He can't throw that. He ain't got no arm like that. No, he don't.
He does, though.
No, he don't.
Oh, he does.
Who is that with that rocket?
Ellie De La Cruz.
Oh, Lord.
With a howitzer.
He got a rocket in his pocket.
Whoa. Holy cow.
He has a lot of fun with that bit when he gets to call ball games.
Yeah, that's fun.
Speaking of Snoop the dog, some of you could look this up if you're interested. I don't know where you got to go, but I'm sure there are plenty of you out there who know how to find things on your computer. He's auctioning off his personal Nintendo Game Boy from 1989.
That'd be cool on Snoop Dogg's Game Boy.
Huh?
Here's a bouncing ball to second. Look at Terang picking.
Easy to 1-2-1-2. That'll do what it do. Give him a single. He does like to mingle. And my favorite jingle is the S to the N, double O, no. Oh, good hit. That's a good hit. That's a good hit. He can't get there. He can't get there. Oh!
Foul ball.
Hey, I caught it. Mom, look, I made it.
As of last I read, the 1989 Game Boy that apparently at one point belonged to Snoop the dog, the bid right now is $561.
It's already off the auction. It won for $625.
It went for $624.
I'm surprised it was that low.
Yeah,
I was about to say that seems low to me.
Yeah, maybe people don't give a pump about that anymore. Or they don't give a pump about him anymore. Come on, this is terrible. Bill Belichick is dating a 24-year-old lady.
Oh. I was wondering if you were going to bring that up today. I saw that over the weekend. Yeah.
Bill Belichick, who's 72 years old.
That's gross.
Yes, it is. You have nothing to be sorry for. That is gross.
He's dating a 24-year-old lady.
Coach, you used to talk about Foxborough High School when we sucked. But now I know why you were so obsessed with Foxborough High School. You were scouting your new girlfriend. You're 73 years old. You should be trying to bang someone your own age.
Bang. Bang. Oh, no.
That was at the Brady roast, and I think people were a little, wondering why he said that, but now they know.
Yep.
Well, that was Bill Ron.
Rob Gronkowski.
The girl he's dating is an ex-competitive cheerleader. This is according to TMZ Sports, says so. All right.
Girl, what are you doing?
What is Bill Belichick's background? Was he? I assume he was married previously, right?
I don't.
He was with for so long. Yeah, he was he was with, like, in a long-term relationship with somebody for about 10 years, and that recently, well, that ended about a year ago. I read this story about how they met, how this new girl and he met, and all this.
It sounds
they
like
actually met 3 years ago on a flight, and I can't even get through this without laughing. Apparently he helped her with a college project she was working on, and they stayed in touch, and that's how they got together.
I'll be damned.
Gross.
Met her when she was 21.
Yeah, she was 21 when they met.
That is funny.
Ew, she probably, like, she kisses him? Oh, gosh.
Yeah, man.
Ew.
And more, Ashley.
Girl,
Old man
what
balls.
are you doing?
Well, when you put it like that, yeah, that's really gross.
Oral sex.
Oh. He's probably right.
Lots of oral sex.
Yep. Just a big jug of Viagra right in the bedside.
Wonder if she took him home for Father's Day to meet her father.
Oh, I didn't think about her poor father.
Her dad's probably 54 or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Lots and lots of oral sex. Lots of probably hand play.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's too old to be, bumping back and forth like it's prom night. He's just going to sit in a chair. So a lot of oral sex, a lot of hand play.
Well, to warm things up, or that's it?
That's it. I bet you they don't have a lot of actual sexual intercourse, just because you're 72. It's not that easy to be.
Well, if they did, who's on top? I mean, it's got to be
Oh,
her,
of course.
right?
It's
What do they talk about?
He's going to have a heart attack.
He watches the news, and there's hand action.
Like reciprocated both ways, or one more towards the other?
Oh, my God.
Look, he's Bill Belichick, right? He's a big shot. So the action, like how do I say this, Josh? Like it's certainly slanted in one direction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In one direction.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Who was watching? Did you watch the UFL championship game between the Birmingham Stallions and the San Antonio Brahmas? I caught a little bit of it. Birmingham won their third consecutive title. They shut out the Brahmas. It was a hell of a deal. Tom Brady awarded the MVP of the championship game a trophy, and the crowd in St. Louis booed his nuts off when he got up there. St. Louis, as you know, St. Louis doesn't have an NFL team anymore, but you don't have to have an NFL team.
How do we think he's going to do as a broadcaster? I'm really curious.
Don't care.
Oh, I do care. I'm going to be really curious.
All right.
To listen to him, to see how he does, because there's going to be so much scrutiny on him, because Greg Olson, actually, I thought was pretty good and did a really nice job.
Okay. I don't know. We'll find out. But he was out there for this UFL title game. I guess this was his first appearance as a Fox broadcaster.
Yeah.
I didn't hear him talk, but I don't know if he had a mic, but he did present the trophy, and the crowd hated his guts.
Interesting.
Yeah, they booed him sideways. And you don't have to have an NFL team in town to hate Brady,
No.
Where was the game?
St. Louis.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And he beat the Rams in the Super Bowl, his first Super Bowl. So
Yeah,
they probably still have a grudge against him for that.
Right. There's a cute story here about Deion Sanders now. He's still the coach of Colorado's football program, right?
For now.
Yeah. It's become a bit of a joke, like most people suspected it would. Over 30 scholarship players from last season left Colorado, but they got about 30 coming in who have transferred from other schools. So I guess
I think that's going to be the way it's going to be as long as he's that coach. It's
But here's the story.
Started out so strong, and then they just faded so badly that
Here's the story that caught my attention. So somebody wrote a little something or another about why so many kids transferred away from Colorado, transferred away from primetime Deion Sanders' program. It says here, at some point during spring practice, they had a little party. And the party was a concert by Lil Wayne, okay? Lil Wayne was going to put on a show at the campus there. And the opening act for Lil Wayne was to be, and it ended up being, Deion's son, Shedeur Sanders, who was the quarterback for their football team. Okay, great. That sounds like fun. Deion made it mandatory for all players to show up to this event to see Shedeur rap. And he said, more or less, anyone who skips out could be dismissed from the team. That's according to the story I read. A lot of kids thought, F you, pal.
Right.
Yeah. And they upped and left.
Yeah.
That's obnoxious.
If you don't think it's about him, you are missing the boat.
Right.
It's all about him.
Right.
Yeah.
How obnoxious is that? Come watch my kid because he's the best. And if you don't, I'll dismiss you from the team.
Right.
What are you, nuts or something?
Well, he's nuts. Yes.
Who knows if all of that is true, but that's the story that I read. Yay, oh cool, Lil Wayne, some of them were probably thinking. The opening act is the dude that's our quarterback? Come on.
So corny.
What can you do? One final note here. There's some soccer tournament going on in Germany. I guess it's a big deal. You got a lot of folks coming in from England and here and there. The German police have told the English soccer fans to smoke geef instead of drinking alcohol before these games because they think it'll prevent brawls and such.
Everybody be happier.
Yeah. Chill.
I've never wanted to fight somebody when I'm high. So.
Everybody just take a puff.
They're concerned that intoxicated English, and it says here Serbian fans could create issues around the stadium, so police suggested smoking ganj. It would make fans calmer and chilled out.
Sure.
I don't know if they followed that advice, but a police spokesman said it's no problem for fans to smoke weed on the street. If we see a group drinking alcohol and looking aggressive, and another group smoking queef, we'll focus on the group drinking alcohol.
They're focusing on the English for good reason. This tournament's a European Championship tournament, and 3 years ago, and this last time this tournament was held, England was hosting, and England was in the final for the first time in forever, and fans without tickets just stormed the gates. There was a complete riot at the stadium. They didn't have tickets, and they were all drunk as all hell, and they stormed. It's found a way into the stadium just by pushing over barriers and then everybody running at once.
And the cops said that's not going to happen if you're all smoking herb.
Mm-hmm.
40,000 English fans were expected to travel to this stupid tournament.
Wow.
So there you go. Oh, God. A hell of a deal for a Monday, huh, boys?
Yeah.
So, Brad, you're on your way home.
Yep, coming home in a few hours.
Randy Shaver, how much more time are you spending up on the range?
We're up here until Wednesday. I'll be with you via phone through Wednesday.
Any touristy spots you're going to hit? You're going to hit the Hockey Hall of Fame? Are you going to hit...
I don't know if we're doing... I don't think my granddaughter cares about that. I don't think I think we're just kind of... I think we're going to find a few parks to go to, and we're just going to hang out, and hopefully the weather will cooperate. If it's anything like what's going on in the cities right now, it's a little wet, so we'll figure it out.
Oh yeah, some storms are supposed to roll through there later tonight. Well, leave the grandkids you got one of your sons up there with you.
Yeah.
Leave the grandkids back at the cabin and go hit a little place called Tuna's Gentlemen's Club.
And where's that located?
I think it's Eveleth.
Okay.
Or Gilbert.
I'm not sure how far away is Eveleth and Gilbert from where we are. I'm not familiar with this area.
Just start driving around then.
Just start driving
around.
You'll find it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's maybe, 40 minutes or something like that. It's been a while since I've been up.
That's a lot.
No, it could be less than that. And I think Tuna's is still up and running. So just write that down on a piece of paper, put it in your pocket. If the weather turns bad, you might want to. Thanks, Randy Shaver. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
All right, I'll be back in a few minutes here on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Are you ready to beat the heat this summer? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is here to help you say goodbye to sweltering heat and hello to ultimate comfort. Ashley, what specials do they have going on this month?
It is fun, sun, and savings time at Standard Heating and Air with incredible savings on AC units, heat pumps, and combo deals this month to ensure your air quality is up to snuff this summer. Go to standardheating.com for more info or to schedule your appointment today.
Every story eventually comes to an end. This June, hear the final episode of Season 2 of the hit podcast series In the Red Clay, Durham. In the Red Clay tells the unbelievable true story of Billy Sunday Burt, the most dangerous man in Georgia history. In the podcast that people are calling riveting, incredibly moving, captivating, and addicting. Binge Seasons 1 and 2 of In the Red Clay now, wherever you listen.
Hi, everybody!
Hi. Dr. P. Jesus, welcome to the Half-Assed Morning Show.
93X.
God dang it, I'm a stupid idiot. It's Monday. I'm not entirely dialed in yet, so I completely forgot to give folks a heads up on our guest, Dr. P. Jesus. I mean, he's a real damn doctor. If you have a question you need cleared up, text us, 651-989-9393. Welcome to the Half-Assed Morning Show, and I'm sorry I disrespected you like that, Dr. P. Jesus.
I don't feel dissed at all, so you're good.
I just, I knew you were coming in. I just forgot. I just smooth forgot, Josh.
Well, we did talk about it earlier, so It's not like you were completely ignored.
I don't feel ignored.
I saved a text from last week.
Wow.
Just in case something like this would happen.
Great.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And this is from He Doesn't Mind My Tattoo, Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She has an issue where sometimes when she sneezes, she pees a little bit. She said it's inconvenient and annoying. But she noticed that if she were to bend over like 90 degrees, right, which The Simpsons called the American taxpayer, that position, then it doesn't happen.
If she bends over 90 degrees and sneezes,
it doesn't happen then.
But any other time, she pees in her pants a little bit. By the way, 651-989-9393 if you have a question for Dr. P.
Yeah, so what she's having a little bit of, we would call it stress incontinence, because it's usually when you cough or sneeze or anytime your abdominal muscles basically squeeze. It's more common in women who've had children just because.
My wife blames our kids for that.
Yeah, I mean.
It happens to her. Although I coughed and peed a little the other day. I've never had kids.
Sympathy.
I've not given any birth.
Stress, and
coughing made that made that happen for you.
Just a little bit. It was kind of a bonding moment between me and my wife because, anytime she sneezes or jumps or something
Did she give you a high five after that?
She was excited.
Yeah, that is exciting. But yeah, stress incontinence. So yeah, coughing, sneezing, laughing actually is a common one. And it really is just, it's more common in women who've had children just because things get beat up down there during that process. That's a nice way to say it.
Yeah.
Sometimes during the conception too, right?
True.
Pound it.
Right, brother. Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
I see bending over 90 degrees. Is that what she said? Okay. So
maybe that blocks off her bladder or something like that?
Well, it's such a good question.
It squeezes something out?
Squeezes. It may actually be that it already kind of compresses your abdominal and chest cavity. So if you sneeze or cough, there's not really much movement in there. Because that's the only thing. I mean, maybe it sort of crimps the ureter or something, or not the ureter, the urethra a little bit.
We wouldn't know any different.
Yeah, but I think it's probably almost. How would you even describe that? It's like preloading the change in pressure in the abdomen by going ahead and doing it and bending over forward, so that when you cough or sneeze, it doesn't really add much. I think that's how I would think of that.
That makes sense to me.
So women...
She must go through a lot of drawers.
Yeah. It's really frustrating.
Oh, should I have changed my... I did nothing.
Oh, no, you didn't.
I just air dried.
But women can benefit from doing some, Kegel exercises, which is basically where you can sit there and essentially squeeze your pelvis like you're trying to hold in urine. That can help strengthen that pelvic floor. And women who really have trouble with it, or an occasional sympathetic guy, can work with a physical therapist that can, help you with that. If you're struggling, especially with Kegel exercises, we've talked about that a little bit.
You can strengthen your
pelvic floor, but your all the muscles that do the stuff down there that we don't generally think about or
I've been
think
told
about
I have a
having-
weak pelvic floor.
You have?
By my neurologist, yeah.
Neurologist or urologist?
Well, if it was a neurologist, I'd request a second opinion.
Exactly.
This was a urologist.
Yeah.
You have a weak pelvic floor.
Yeah.
And what are some of the problems that go along with such a thing? Do you know?
Constipation, he mentioned. He
Yep,
thinks is.
yeah. I mean,
he
I'd
thought
say-
that might be part of
I
it.
would-
He called my pelvic floor a wimp.
Oh, man. Wow.
And a
Shaming
bitch.
it.
He said
Oh.
he said your pelvic floor is a bitch.
Wow.
I would think that weak pelvic floor is probably just sort of part of modern life because we sit around a lot and we don't, we don't walk places. We don't lift weights with our pelvis like they used to in caveman days. I mean, they
true. I
were
remember-
pumping iron.
I watched that documentary
Yeah.
on Arnold Schwarzenegger. Remember
Yeah,
that?
right.
He's out there on Venice Beach just working that pelvic floor.
Have you been doing anything to strengthen this wimpy bitch pelvic floor of yours?
Apparently not.
Well, so he sent me to a specialist, right? A pelvic floor lady.
You did go to a physical therapist.
Yeah, just once. I was supposed to go more.
Hello, is this the pelvic floor lady?
How's it going? It was more intimate than I had thought it was going to be.
Was she was clothed though, right?
She was, yes.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's pretty intimate. It is actually, it's wild. Those therapists are truly special people. I mean, they have to.
I felt bad for her.
Yeah, they have to work with people on some really difficult stuff. But you know what? They're professionals and they're good at it. You should probably go back.
She
She touched you?
Yeah, and she brought in a hand towel, to cover things up.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "All right, take your pants off." I did, and then she threw it away and brought in a washcloth. I said, "This ought to be enough."
Did she hook up any biofeedback things to you? Like it's a way to measure whether you're contracting muscles by putting.
No, she said she was going to do that next time.
Okay.
You
But
have
she-
been to every different kind of doctor at this point in your life, haven't you?
Especially in my bikini area. Yeah.
Yeah, you really have.
She had to push on things, move things.
Oh.
Did you pee?
No.
Yeah.
Did
I
you-
mean, that's
did-
wild. It's
Did you pass wind?
No, thankfully. Yeah, I didn't worry about that too much. It was kind of embarrassing.
Dr. P. Jesus is here in studio. You had another question for
Oh
John?
no! Did you not go back because you were embarrassed? Or
Just laziness, pretty much. And she gave me a whole bunch of pamphlets on the different things I can do, right? I did it like that day.
Knowing you, you read them all front to back.
Oh, I did read them.
Yep.
I chose to
and
do
then
it.
set them aside.
Yeah, it's like flossing, right? I'm good the day of. Go to the dentist, I'll floss that day, maybe even that night, and then I quit.
Dr. P, while we are in what Josh calls the bikini area, great question here from Dumb Bolt Tightener Jesus. His 6-year-old son asked him the other day, "Daddy, what color are testicles inside the bag?"
Oh, interesting.
What color are they on the inside of that bag ski? We need a color.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I guess I've probably only ever seen that with a cadaver. And they tend to look. Everything looks a little gray. I would say. I mean, this is sad, but
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
I mean,
that-
if you walk down, don't they have? Well, I don't know. If you walk down the aisle at the grocery store that has meat products in jars that's sort of tan gray, that's probably about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kids, they're very curious. They ask questions that you never would have thought.
Right.
Yeah,
they do.
I mean, maybe it's a little more red because there's blood flow and it's alive and
Sure.
everything. But
Don't ever try and find out.
It's alive.
I mean, truly don't. You don't want to know.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
that,
it is.
On a cadaver, is everything all the organs turn like a dead gray?
Pretty much, yeah.
The heart, everything.
Yeah, and it's because they have to embalm them, and then they embalm them, but they actually do it in a slightly different way. They try to inject basically a red dye into the arterial system and a blue dye into the vein system, which you don't normally do, but it's just to help with as you're doing dissection to identify things. It doesn't work great, especially I think in the older the patients and the woman who had donated her body, and that my team of four students, she was very, very old, and it didn't work too well. But
Is there a body part, an innard that we might be surprised at the color? Anything?
You mean in a living person? I mean,
or is it pretty much just what you expect?
I mean, again,
gooey.
I'm not a surgeon, so I don't spend a lot of time looking in there.
Okay.
I mean, the gallbladder I think can be darker because it's got bile in it. The liver is darker. I mean, just like if you think about eating liver, it's like it's a very sort of rich, dark-looking meat.
Sure.
And it does look different. The spleen is a bit more red, I would say.
Have you ever sworn to God that a cadaver moved a little bit?
Isn't there some synapses or something that can fire, and there's some twitching and stuff after death?
I mean, I think that can happen in the short term.
Not like an hour later or anything?
Once you're embalmed. And, yeah.
I just love picturing a group of doctors and a cadaver or multiple cadavers, and one of them says, I swear to God, that sumbitch moved over there.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I mean, it's honestly a very surreal experience.
I bet it is.
And it's early in med school, and it's...
Is that just to maybe kind of rule or weed out the folks that maybe it's not right for them?
I don't know. It's it is. It's probably a bit of a test because it's just it's really intense, and there's just an incredible amount to learn. And it's honestly, doing dissection is really difficult. I'd say...
I'm glad it's not my gig.
Yeah, I mean, on a living human, you can... The tissues have a little bit more color, and you can detect them a little better than you can on a cadaver. But honestly, picking out arteries, veins, nerves from fat and other tissues and fascia, the connective tissue is... it's really challenging.
Oh, God. I would make such a mess.
Yeah, me too. We have a possible answer here on testicles, what they look like.
Somebody tore the test.
Oh, no.
Somebody did the research?
Oh, thank goodness, no. This is from a veterinarian.
Oh, yeah, they see them all the time.
Yeah, I see them all the time. I basically castrate for a living. They are red-pink.
Okay, nice.
Reddish pink. And they also had text, I'm looking back here, this is from a while ago. They texted and said they removed a pair of underwear from a dog's stomach once. They presented the underwear to the owners to say, hey, this is what was messing up your dog. They didn't belong to the wife, and that's how she found out about the husband's affair, and she got the dog in the divorce.
My God.
No.
That is messed up.
Some other lady's drawers were inside the dog's stomach.
That's how they found out.
Oh.
Everybody here's had a dog that was a penny eater, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
For me, it was always
bras.
like the small little dogs.
Yeah, my dachshund, the Ozman. He loved to eat a pair of drawers. Not mine, but the ladies that would swing by the house now and again.
You would just wolf them down?
Yeah.
Bras, not panties.
Well, actually, Dr. P, he was pretty specific. He would eat the crotch.
Yup, yeah. That's
smooth out of them and leave the rest.
my family dog
Daddy
did the
doesn't
same.
do that, right?
Right. I don't know where the hell he learned that.
He doesn't...
Because you don't catch me in that operation. That's disgusting.
Doesn't get that from Daddy.
No.
So expensive.
Tile Jesus had a question. He was stung. Oh, no. Now the text went... Oh, here it is. Stung by a wasp yesterday.
Oh.
20 minutes later, got lightheaded, body ache. His wife called 911. Paramedics showed up. 40 minutes later, he felt fine. Should I have gone to the hospital because I started breathing heavy and coughing as well.
Oh, man. Number one, a wasp sting hurts like a bastard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they get you, don't they?
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I mean, but EMS showed up and they evaluated him and left. I mean, so they must have determined that he didn't appear to be having anaphylaxis. And I feel like wasps are not. They don't as commonly cause anaphylactic reactions as like bees. I mean, it is different, and it's absolutely true. Wasps, I mean, because they can sting and they can sting again. It's not, I think all wasps, they don't die when they sting like some bees.
Mm-hmm.
And they have toxin in there. So yeah, you can absolutely react to it and feel pretty awful without having anaphylaxis. If you're gonna develop that anaphylactic, which is just a massive allergic reaction, it usually starts pretty quickly and it builds and it will just get worse. So presumably when EMS was there, they thought he looked stable and didn't need that. If they had to give him epinephrine or something, they would have taken him to the hospital.
There you go.
All right. So you're not overly concerned, it sounds like?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it may be, again, the thing is I think when you get stung, you don't really know what stung you typically. I mean, yellow jackets are wasps, right? But we think of them, I think people think of them as bees sometimes. So that's, it's good to talk to your doctor about, should you have an EpiPen available? I mean, I probably would, if this was my patient, I would say, we should have you have that available in case it happens again. And you do have because you don't typically do testing for that. But if you have a terrible reaction, you want to have the epinephrine available till you can get to the hospital.
That's pretty scary.
I saw a dude get stung by a wasp a few years ago, and the guy just sweat his nuts off for about a half hour.
Oh, really?
I mean, it hurts.
We were having a good time with that.
You do like other people's misery.
I do.
Yeah. You know what that's called?
What?
Do you know the German word for that?
For what?
For
nuts?
Taking pleasure in other people's pain.
Oh, go ahead.
Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
Why the hell do you know that?
I knew that.
Because I'm fluent in that word of German.
It gets thrown around the internet a lot.
You internet dorks. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
I don't remember why I know that.
Schadenfreude. Here's a person who has a question about their kid. Okay.
Yeah.
3 years old, wakes up at the same time every night screaming, inconsolable, doesn't want anything to do with anybody. It lasts about an hour or as long as an hour before they can get him calmed down and back to sleep. And they have a sense of humor about it. At the end, they want to know if they need an old priest and a young priest. So,
right.
What do you recommend here? Probably not an exorcism, or is that
probably not?
3-year-old kid wakes up screaming like a sumbitch.
Same time every night.
Get the hell out of here!
So there's always
the house is haunted.
I mean, that would be second on my list. So the question is it a nightmare, which is different than a night terror? And as far as I know, night terrors are unique to kids. So a nightmare,
is that right?
It's a bad dream, and you will wake up, and you're normal. You're conscious. You may be freaked out. You may be sort of like, wait, was that real? A night terror, a kid will wake up kind of, but they're still. It's basically like a sleep disorder where the part of their brain is still asleep. So you're basically supposed to not try to wake them up. You kind of just gently console them and comfort them, and they'll usually just calm down and fall back to sleep. If you don't want to try to oh my God, wake them up, because apparently that just makes it worse. So you kind of have to ride it out. And
so, night terrors are, did you say, exclusively to kids or more common in kids?
I don't remember that ever being talked about in adults.
I get them.
As an adult?
Yes.
I get day terrors. I suddenly just freak out.
What are the hours where it happens? What are the hours?
So
certainly
Dana,
5:40 to 9, but only on weekdays.
Right. So Dana, other people have said you are screaming and you're not really awake.
Mm-hmm. And I can't get myself to wake up. I'm like stuck in that state.
I mean, it's possible. I guess that's a good question. Maybe I'll look that up during the break because
I know one adult who had night terrors, and it was friggin' horrifying to see it happen. As a child, I was horrified.
It's kind of along the lines of sleepwalking, where again you're moving around, you look like you're awake, but you're not, and kind of gently redirecting is the way to go, as opposed to. I don't quite remember what the deal is with, if you're like, I'm gonna beat this night terror, I'm gonna wake this kid up and tell him to, something about that is just very disorienting and very upsetting to kids, and
maybe we all had that problem. Maybe we all had that problem as children, because I remember when I was a kid, I had some horrifying dreams that I could not snap myself out of.
You still have some really violent dreams.
I do. I have violent dreams. Maybe that's because I'm losing my mind. I don't know. But when I was a kid, I remember, I don't know if I'd define them as night terrors, but I remember being horrified by the dream and being aware of the fact that I was dreaming and trying to push my way out of it and being unable to do it. So maybe I had that problem when I was a child.
Were things happening to you in the dream, or it was just you were seeing
they were happening to me.
You murdered a professional athlete once in your dream?
No. I was with a professional athlete before I murdered a woman.
Oh, I thought you had murdered Tom Brady.
No, he was murdered in the dream. Should I share this after we get back?
Yeah.
Well, we got Dr.
We do have an answer for Dana's. You might be onto something about it because a few people are saying about Dana's night terrors, he is a child. He essentially is a grown child.
I guess dude, I shouldn't be the case study here.
Yeah. Take a look at the friggin' guy.
Yeah, take away his. He's got a trailer hitch on a Ford Fusion.
Right. He really does.
He really does, yes.
Dr. P. Jesus.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah, Dr. P. Dr. P is here. The number, 651-989-9393. Maybe we can squeeze in a quick question from you about your health. Maybe he can get a hold of one before we got to get the hell out of here. We were talking about bad dreams, night terrors, and things like that. I have violent dreams. If I have a dream, there's usually some violence involved. I had a couple over the weekend, actually. But anyway, we were talking about this one dream that I had years ago that I'll never forget. Josh brought it up, something about a pro athlete and horrible death all around me. And yeah, the dream went like this. Me and my first wife, the better marriage, me and my first wife, this is how long ago I had this dream. My first wife and I went to some tropical spot on vacation. And it was beautiful, and the locals were all very friendly, and we were having a great time. We're standing on the beach, and here comes Tom Brady, right? And Tom Brady joins us for a conversation. Hey, what are you doing here? And he says, I come here all the time. Everyone's so friendly, and it's a beautiful spot. And then suddenly, during the course of this dream, something happened to where the locals were no longer fond of Americans and Americans coming to visit their wonderful island, right? So all of a sudden, there's bad looks being shot our way, and it turns into a full-blown get the Americans type situation, right? So now me and my ex-wife and Tom Brady are running for our lives, chased by hordes of people. We go to our hotel room, our hotel. We run up to the top of as high up as we can get. We say, hey, Tom Brady, you're on your own. He runs his way. Me and the wife run another way. Eventually, I lose the wife. I don't know what happened. That's one part of the dream I don't remember. In the end, I'm standing on the tippy top of this super tall hotel. All of the locals from the island have surrounded me. I'm up on the very roof of the hotel, and I'm going to throw myself off the hotel to my death. Better than being beaten to death by the locals. But I said to myself in the dream, if I'm going, I'm bringing somebody with me. And I grabbed a lady, and I tugged her off the top of the building with me, and I stabbed her to death on the way down.
Jeez.
Louise.
What makes you say that's violent?
I thought that was supposed to be a violent, scary dream.
And then did you did you hit the ground? Or is it just done?
I believe I did hit the ground, and I woke up.
Huh.
I'm lucky.
Wow.
I never get nightmares.
No, I mean, I haven't. I have not experienced that. I mean, that's pretty intense. I would go see that movie though. Actually, Tom Brady would probably be in it at this point.
Nowadays,
he's probably looking for stuff to do.
Why wouldn't he be?
In my dreams, it's still the same. Your love is strong, and it still remains.
1986. What band?
Anybody?
No.
Just me and Nick.
Just you and Nick.
Docking.
What record?
Under lock and key.
Under lock and key.
So night terrors, just real quick.
Yes.
Far more common in kids up to about age 12, but they can happen in adults. It's at least what I read quickly suggests that it's probably people who have like PTSD. So there's something more complicated going on in their subconscious mind, unconscious mind, and at night it's just activating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why am I having violent dreams?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. But you're waking up and you're awake. I don't know, man.
Okay.
You never want to hear your doctor say that.
I don't know, man.
I mean, I can live with it. It's not as if it's something that keeps me awake. I don't like.
Can you avoid night terrors in some way? Like back to the gentleman with the 3-year-old. Is there something? Can they watch a comedy before bed? Does that make any difference?
Not that I know of. That. Okay, that's going to be one to look up for next time.
Okay.
It's already 9 a.m. for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Oh, no, because we got herpes questions, and we got so many good questions coming in.
You want to come in tomorrow and talk about herpes?
Maybe we should.
Do you want? I mean, that's one of those that keeps coming back, right? It'll reoccur.
That's true. I could be here.
We
every
can
day
call.
and talk
We
about
can
herpes.
call you later. We can call you.
Sure.
Maybe you can come back in again because people do love when you're on. They want to ask
Sure.
you about herpes. Here's a loon blower Jesus. Back to bad dreams. He said he had night terrors as a kid. He'd walk around the house yelling that somebody was in the house, and his mom woke up, and he attacked her and he beat her ass.
Oh, jeez.
Gosh, that's awful.
Tiny Hammer Jesus said he used to get him when he was a kid. And he would get really hot, right, when he was having his nightmares. And he would say, "I'm dying now. Goodbye, Dad.
Holy
I'm
cow.
dying now."
Wow. Man, we have tapped into something.
Well, maybe this will be a quick question. I sure hope.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to. I bet there's people. I've been in this spot. Nick's been in this spot.
Yeah.
This is from Juicy Jerky Jesus. Over the weekend, this girl I've been seeing told me she has, quote, the herp. We haven't fooled around yet, but should I be concerned about making out with her? Also, are there some preventative drugs the two of us can take so it's not transferable?
Okay. So, well, I mean, there's HSV1 and HSV2. So, the cold sore herpes, that you can definitely get from kissing or from other activities. HSV2, which is genital herpes. People can have that on their mouth, but usually it's on the genitals. And essentially, if someone has herpes, you can get it even if they don't have any active. So
Wait,
it's
really?
kind of a gamble. Yeah, because you don't have to have active lesions. You can have viral shedding. There are medications that can be taken by typically be taken by the person with herpes to decrease the viral activity. It is possible for someone to be on those antivirals if you're with someone with herpes. I haven't really done that much with folks because it's not guaranteed to work.
It's not.
Yeah. So, but the person who has the history of herpes can certainly be on medication to decrease the chances they'll pass it on.
It just decreases it. I
Yeah,
have been
it doesn't-
lied to in my life.
It doesn't make it zero.
Do you have herpes?
No, I almost joined a urine
Josh has
Josh's
herpes.
club where you
I do not have herpes.
Josh has herpes.
where you risk it.
I have his
But
piece. They're just for gentlemen only.
I ended up not risking it all the way. So.
What do you mean by all? Like you
You
didn't
gotta
go?
risk it all the way.
Like we made out and stuff, but it never went to the next level. But yeah, when
Was
he
that
told,
your call?
Yeah, it was my call.
You have more self-control than Nick and myself.
When he told me, he was like, "Yeah, but I'm on like this medication, so like there's no way you can get it."
Josh and I
Liar.
we both had girls separately say to us, as we're naked, ready to.
Well, not
we both had
half naked.
Right.
the girls say, "Just so you know, I have herpes," and we both said, "Okay, sweet."
All right.
We're like, oh, well, I think we both had the same reaction. Thank God. I really appreciate you telling me. You really saved me from worry. And then you're like, well, you're already naked, and I'm about as naked as I'm gonna get.
I already
Might be
have terrible
rude not to-
dreams.
We were young. We needed the money. We got to get the hell out of here. Dr. B, thank you very much as usual.
Yeah, awesome.
Nice seeing you, brah.
You too.
Happy 38th to the amazing sister Stephanie, a.k.a. Beam, from her favorite sister, Jenny. Shout out to the original handyman Jesus and Vikings fan Jesus listening this morning despite a power outage where they're at. Good luck to Andy and Danny with a level 10 Dad's Day hangover from bad Andy Jesus. Have a great Monday.
93X. The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
It is fun, sun, and savings time at Standard Heating and Air with incredible savings on AC units, heat pumps, and combo deals this month to ensure your air quality is up to snuff this summer. Go to standardheating.com for more info or to schedule your appointment today.